what's going on? It's Bill Burr. It's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast. And you know, whenever I'm videoing, that means I have a special guest, a very special guest, to the point I wore a sweater. Huh? The importance of this man. He's done everything, movies, television, Broadway. He's been nominated for like everything. You know him from Star Wars and God knows everything. I saw him in this amazing Broadway play called Burn This. He's got a movie coming out called Ferrari with Michael Mann, Christmas Day. Please welcome Adam Driver. Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Sorry, we had a little confusion before this started. I was like, when is the movie coming out? When is this podcast coming out? So, first off, great to see you. And I am very excited about this movie because, you know, there has been movies about F1 and that type of stuff, but this seems like it's going to dig further. You're playing Enzo Ferrari? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, and this isn't just going to be, it's not like Days of Thunder meets Italian supercars.
No. If people are expecting it to just be nonstop racing, it's not that. There is racing for sure, and it's shot really well because it's a Michael Mann movie, but it's also
a big competition. You're fighting for the same girl. And Robert Duvall's in it.
Yeah, exactly. I raced Robert Duvall in 1957.
Yeah, there we go.
But it's a very character-driven movie, just like Michael Mann's movies are.
Right.
You know, so hopefully by the time that somebody actually crashes, you care that they live or die.
Well, one of the few books I've read in my life, I was saying, I read this, that wasn't a sports autobiography. I read this book called The Limit. And it was this amazing story. Basically, it was a history of F1, kind of like how dangerous it was in the 1950s. And I looked up most of some of the worst of these crashes. And it would be literally like on straightaways. They would just have spectators standing behind like a yellow rope. Yeah. And it's a straightaway, so they weren't expecting centrifugal force to affect it, but then they would hit each other and they would go into the crowd and like so many people would die and like nobody got sued back then. But this book was called The Limit and was about the first American to win the F1 championship. And as much as it was about the race and the danger and everything, there was this one story that kind of gave me a hint into the complexities and the drama of Enzo Ferrari. The guy that you're playing was when Phil Hill was the name of the guy, the American driver. When he got his first car, the last driver had just died. And so then they're calling you up, and he couldn't believe he got the call. And when he got the call, in the floor pan, there was a hole like the size of a quarter in the floor pan of it. And they're, all right, this is your car. And he asked why the floor pan, why it had the hole in it. The last driver got decapitated and bled out in the car. So they just drilled a hole and they hosed it out. And I love where aerodynamics was that they didn't weld it shut. And then it's like, all right, dude, you're up next. And it was just like, I mean, I feel like, you know, when I watch like those World War II movies, when you were in one of those, you know, those giant bombers and you were like in that little bubble at the bottom, I feel like that job, you know, like this is the racing version of that. So what I got excited about when I heard this movie, that it wasn't just going to be like, you know, them just going around a track and some weak story to surround that, is that they're actually going to get into this guy, and it's Enzo Ferrari, and that it's Michael Mann. Am I on the right track as far as like?
Yeah, completely. I think like the death rate of the Ferrari team in the late 50s, probably from 1955 to when our movie starts, 1957, was something like 50%. You know, the goal was to kind of get thrown from a car as opposed to get stuck in a car and burned to death. And they didn't have seatbelts, or, you know, it wasn't not because of them being absent-minded. It just wasn't part of the racing culture at the time. It was, you know, aerodynamics was kind of new. Mid-engine vehicles were something that Enzo was very adverse to. He was very much of the philosophy that the ox pulls the cart. TV was entering F1 for the first time, so that was a completely new transition. And also, in our movie, Enzo, you know, he has this woman that he had a child with named Lena Lardy, who he had a kid with. The son was about to be confirmed. He didn't know if he was going to be confirmed as a Lardy or a Ferrari, even though everybody in the town knew who he was, except his wife Laura, who he ran the business with. His son, who was on his way to be an engineer, died when he was about 21. So it's very much.
And didn't he named the Denali after him?
Oh, he made the Enzo after.
The Enzo after.
Yeah.
Oh,
or
okay.
the Dino. Sorry.
The Dino.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I just saw one of those recently, and it's this episode 1 of season 5 of Kojak. No, I live in the past. I can't deal with
Kojak,
today.
like the Kojak?
Kojak.
Yeah, right.
Which,
okay.
by the way, my 3.5-year-old son loves.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's something about it. There's cars, there's shooting, there's good-looking women, and there's this gorgeous woman. She just comes walking out of the elevator. She walks by 2 Porsches and then gets in the, the Denali. I thought it was called Denali. I have no idea. That early 70s one. And it's gray, too, which is a really unique color. And then, of course, somebody gets shot next to a yellow Pacer, which I thought was interesting to have all of those cars and then just have that in there. But anyway, what I love about your career, other than that, you know, you're amazing at what you do, is like you just seem to be working with, like, you work with directors that are also, like, I think have the same approach that you do, or so you just seem like you want to do, you're always going for something great. So I always know that if I'm scrolling on Netflix or whatever, and if I see your face, whatever it is,
You're
it's like
fuck.
No,
no,
I know this guy doesn't just. You know, this isn't going to be fucking Police Academy 6, and he's buying a house in Malibu, like that thing. Like, hey, you know, it's about time I get paid. I'm doing Con Air Part 9, which I don't judge anybody anymore, the way they're not fucking paying anybody. Everybody's doing commercials now. You're one of those guys. So you get to work with Michael Mann, who, it's amazing. I've been basically been watching his movies my entire life, and I thought he had way more. So before I came in here and I looked at the ones that he did, he doesn't have nearly as many movies as I thought. It's just that he just hit so many home runs.
Right, yeah.
You know, like I actually, like last year I went back and I watched like Thief, which I think was his first one. And obviously I saw like the Heats at, Heat and all of that, which,
The Insider, Last of the Mohicans.
Insider I loved.
Collateral, Ali, I think they have staying power and they're timeless because he's so specific. So every time you watch them, even Heat, I've seen probably 200 times, and every time I watch it, I always see something different about, oh God, like that it's such a great detail that I never picked up on before. Yeah. And it's the same with this. I don't think it's like kind of impossible to watch this once. I mean, it's very possible. But
so what's that like when you get in? You're with the guy. Okay, you're working with somebody who's a legend like that as a director. Mm-hmm. They obviously know what they're doing. Yeah. And then he gives you a direction, and you're thinking of going in a different direction. Is there anything in your head going like, well, that was Michael Mann. I can't say, hey, I was thinking of...
You have to try it, I would say, because it might be a good idea. But then at the same time, he is also trying to figure out how to communicate with you, just like you're trying to figure out how to communicate with him, and you can't keep each other from each other. Like you can't... You can't keep it like, oh, I'm secretly going to do something else. If you disagree, then you kind of have to talk about it.
Have you ever tried that?
Yeah,
secretly disagreeing and then doing
yeah, or someone like gives me a direction and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just and in the moment I don't want to do it, so I'll just do something else just because it's film. So if it doesn't work, we'll just go back and do it again.
Right.
I don't want to get too in my head the minute you start trying to think of it externally from myself, then I get totally lost. And it's kind of like a benign rebellion, if that makes sense. It's not like I'm rebelling against... I like watching things where I get the sense that maybe the actor will leave the frame. I don't know what they just, so long as they feel like they're breathing, and the minute they get in their head, I feel like I can sense it. So and if I do something and someone doesn't like it, then we'll just do it again. That's the luxury of film. Not all directors that work that way, but with Michael, I know that if he doesn't get what he wants, then we'll just keep doing it until we get it.
Just grinds
in
you down.
perpetuity. Yeah.
All right. Well, how come people don't seem to understand that a person wouldn't want to watch themselves? Because when I saw that whole bullshit, it's just like, why would you want to sit there? Because I have a theory that if you're looking at the side of your head while you're talking, it's like that Native American thing where they didn't want to get a picture. It takes a piece of your soul. There's like something that you should never do that.
Yeah. I mean, some people watch themselves and they benefit from it. And I've started to do that now too, where I've started to watch things that I'm in just because I realize that even when I watch it in retrospect, I don't like it. And I feel like I could have had a time when we were putting it together to fight for the part a little bit. Like protect your performance. Because usually before I'm like, okay, I did it. I absolve all responsibility. It's your movie. And I'm going to go away now.
I like that. That's like denial.
Yeah. It's a way of coping. I think with when it doesn't work, then then it's not my responsibility. I mean, it's lots of reasons. Is that
trauma inspired? Because that's how I go through life.
Right.
I just keep marching forward to stay. Because if I slow down, like the fog of what has happened in the past catches up to me. So I just keep going, like, all right, I don't need to look at it. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, it's going to make me cringe. So.
I wish I was that way, but I'm not. I get all obsessed about a detail and go over and over again, and I'll drive myself crazy and everybody else around me crazy, asking them to explain what the thing was as opposed to just fucking watching it. But at the same time, I also came from theater where you don't get to see what it looks like extra. You're only, you're on a stage and you do it, and always at the last performance I'm sure you feel this with stand-up. I mean, maybe not. You do it for so long, and every time you do it, it's something new, and then it just gets better and better, and you become more relaxed. There's a part where you're like, oh, I need to be over here at this part of the stage when I say that, as opposed to over there, or I was tense in this part, and now I found a way to relax. And that's what I feel about film. It's permanent. You can't go back and do it again. It's at the same time improvisational, but permanent. It's a document that lives forever.
Right.
Then you make it, and you made a mistake, or you thought you were going to do something that wasn't operating. It is traumatic when you watch it and you're like, oh, and I can't go back and redo it. That's it. That's what it is.
Now it lives forever.
But in this also the other end, it's not about you and how you feel about it. It's about how an audience responds to it. So I try to absolve responsibility. But now
I think that's healthy.
I think so too. Suddenly it turns into this thing where people ask me about it all the time, as if it's very odd. But to me, it makes sense to not watch things if you don't want to.
Not wanting to see yourself retiring, like figuring a way out of this business, and just being able to sit and be quiet.
Right. Yeah.
Like stuff like that makes sense. One thing that does, as far as like with stand up, and you doing when I watched you on Burn This on Broadway, it's the same thing where it's live, okay, and there's like no do-overs. But me, I can adjust to a screw up. I can call it out. I'm breaking the fourth wall the entire time. The entire time I'm talking to the crowd. I'm not creating this world that you guys are doing. So if there's like a mistake, it's very easily handled once you're seasoned and you're relaxed. So when you were doing that play, because this was I've always wanted to ask someone that's acted on Broadway, what happens? What do you do? Like if the other actor forgets their line and you see them in a panic looking at you, or you can, like right before you're going out, you're like, what the fuck do I say?
Yeah.
And there's this crowd there, and go. Like, there's your cue. Like how do you like what is that night? Like that first night, no matter how many times you've rehearsed it, there has to be that thought of like, what if I forget my lines? Yeah,
not so much. No, when I first did a play on Broadway, that was that terror that I was not going to memorize, know my lines. But now I don't feel that way. I feel like I know my lines and all. But that happens all the time.
Well, let's talk about the terror. So
okay.
What was that like? Did it happen?
Did it where I lost my lines?
Yeah.
No. So I remember the first play I ever did was a play called Mrs. Warren's Profession. It's a Robert Shaw play. And I was sitting backstage, and it was with Cherry Jones and Sally Hawkins. And they were acting, and there's the mic in my dressing room, or the speaker in my dressing room. And somebody said something that was funny. And for the first time, I heard a crowd that size laugh. And I was fucking terrified because it's immense, and very... deep, and I blacked out. Or I don't know if I really blacked out, but I was terrified. And then I had to go out, and I stumbled through it, and that was it. It was not a good show.
Have you ever gotten mad at yourself for choosing this profession?
All the time.
In those moments, because I do that all the time.
Yeah, it's all self-induced. No one asked me, and no one is asking for it.
That's what I was always saying. I would always be sitting there, like when I was getting called on stage, horrible crowd, or like you're going to do Letterman, and it's freezing cold, and he doesn't look like he's in a good mood. And I'm just like, why? I'm a fucking shy person. Why did I decide to do this? This is stupid.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah.
But then when it's over, then you're like, you feel amazing. for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, then that's it. I always the best part of getting of jobs is the first 20 minutes when I realize I'm going to do the job. But then after that, it's just misery until it's over.
Yeah, you're like, oh, fuck, now I have to go do it.
Yeah, and it has to be great, and it has to be something that was worth all the effort to get there.
Well, I got to tell you, when I saw you on that, like, dude, you came out in that play, Burn This, it was like, you know, it was already a good play. You didn't come on, I felt, for like the first 10 minutes. Right. And when your character comes in, I think he was hammered or whatever, he's just an erratic, crazy fucking person. And you came in and it was just like electrified. The whole thing it just was flying after that. And I'm not, you know, I'm a comedian. So like I'm going to Broadway and we have like, I think we confuse you know, Cats with everything else on Broadway. So we just think it's going to be like, oh my God, I had a dream. Like, oh no, how am I going to lie to this guy afterwards and be like, oh yeah, that was fantastic. I got my little Cats doll here, and I want to be on the Great White Way. I was so like psyched. Like that's only happened 2 times.
Oh really?
Your play, and then when I first moved to LA, my neighbor across the street wrote a play and put it out up here in LA. And you know, LA theater is not known to, does not have a reputation. And I was in a fucking panic because it wasn't, not only would I have to say that I liked it after the show, the guy lived across the street from me. So like, how long could I keep the lie on my face? And fortunately, I went there and I loved it, and it was really hilarious, and it was really smart, really funny. And I was like gushing afterwards, and like most of it was my relief that, oh my God, thank God I not only did I like it, I actually loved it. And so I've gone to, you know, that kind of opened me up, because up until then, I'd only seen like I'd just seen like off Broadway plays. Right. I mean, I remember seeing something my wife was in, and there was somebody on stage, and their job was acting out the machinery of like the industrial ages. And I was and we're in this little black box theater, and I was just sitting there being like, how is this what is this? Like, how the fuck does this lead to that? Like, this seems like you're walking in the other direction. Then I was getting frustrated. Oh man, I got some stories. My wife, you know, did a lot of acting. I remember one time she did she'll get mad at me if I tell this story, but it's too good not to tell it. So she was doing this play, and I was so, because my wife's, you know, better actor than me, and she's just fucking amazing, and she's beautiful, right? And I just want to see her up there, and I want to see her working. And they had her up there.
In New York?
I got to protect this story.
Oh, okay.
I can't give out too many details. Okay. So they had her, all she was doing was just reading like the narration. That's what they had her doing. And then it'd be like, and then 12 days later, but blah, blah, blah. You know, she's really young or whatever. So I was getting frustrated with that. And then the fucking play, I can't, the fucking play was driving me up the wall. And I was drinking back then. So there was, there was a break. So I went out and I had a beer. And then I had another beer, and then the stupid little ding-dong thing goes off, and I'm just thinking, like, there's no fucking way. I go, this is bullshit. Like, what am I supporting here? Supporting her, them not using her talents? I actually did it as a fan. If you're watching this, Nia, I did it as a fan. I'm not fucking going to sit here and watch her be underused, watching that other bullshit that's happening. So, I'll tell you after what it was about. Anyway, so I just decided this. I'm going to stay out there, and she's not going to know. So I don't go out there, and I get, you know, I kind of get half blitzed, and I didn't know, she could tell that I didn't come back, and she was so fucking upset.
You didn't come back?
I didn't come back for the second half.
Oh wow.
No, I just walked in the end when it was over, and then I went, oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I you know, a couple of Sam Adams in, and then I was going like, great job, and I could tell her energy. I was like, either she didn't like to play, or she could tell I wasn't, and I found out that you know, she could tell that I wasn't there. And oh my God, dude, she held that over my head.
Yeah.
She held that over my head until she didn't watch me on Reservation Dogs for like 9 years, whenever the fuck that came out, like 4 years ago. She's still yet to watch me. I go, all right, we're even. We're even. And she goes, I know, I just haven't gotten around to it. I go, it was a really cool episode. It's a great show. And she didn't watch it. And I go, all right. We're even now.
Right.
Remember when I sat out there and I got drunk because I didn't want to watch you just fucking reading what ellipses? Not ellipses. What's the
stage directions?
Stage directions. Yeah.
Right.
Ellipses. That's ... How did you get the acting bug? Like like your route is really
Odd.
Yes.
I was interested in it.
Oh, no, you know what I would actually say? I would say it's old school. Because
Yeah,
so
in
many
a
of the
way.
old school actors, Lee Marvin and all them, literally fought in wars.
Yeah. Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of action back then, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I was.
It was World War II to Korea to Vietnam. I mean, it was
Right,
kind of hard.
to avoid it.
Well, I also think
Tell,
that's why those guys are so compelling, because they're little guys. They're like they all weigh like 140 pounds, but they actually, you know, they saw action. They killed people. So like when Lee Marvin was like delivering lines, I think he was involved in something where like his whole platoon, except for him and like a couple other guys, got like wiped out. There's just something about that, like those guys when they were on screen. So because you, as much as you're way younger than me and everything, you have like a throwback vibe. You don't have like when I talk to you, I don't feel like that. Like I don't know what happened along the way, but there was. I don't know if it's just me being older, but there's just different kinds of people now. Like people are just like I've just lived, I guess, long enough that like I don't know what the fuck was I watching the other night. I was watching Magnum PI because a friend of mine was on it. And the guy's like, Magnum's like stuck in this relationship and his girlfriend's giving him shit that they're not spending enough time. And I'm just like, they never had storylines like this. The guy was just driving around in a Ferrari, banging chicks, you know? And then even like the helicopter pilot, like the first guy was jacked and this guy was more like, you know, he had the dad bod going on. No offense to that guy, but I'm just saying like this is, it like.
Who, Tom Selleck? Or no,
the guy who played TC. The original TC guy was fucking jacked. And the next guy, like it was just, everything was just sort of like softened a little. Everybody's like, all right, you know, like the new Magnum is a lot more understanding. And he's like examining it. There was no examination.
Yeah.
It was like the first Magnum. If you watch the first Magnum, it's weird.
Yeah.
Now when you go back and watch it, it's just like all these guys are straight, right?
Yeah.
They're all just kind of fucking hanging out, doing all this manly stuff, flying helicopters and surfing and shit. There was just sort of something like, it's weird. It's like super manly and then maybe like really gay at the same time. Where now I felt like the new Magnum is just way more. They're just like regular.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you solve crimes too, do you? I thought you were in fucking, I don't know, HR or something. He doesn't. I guess I'll never be on that show. But
I haven't seen the new one, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Even the Ferrari, our movie, it's like it's all pre-psychology. They're not so analytical about. Enzo Ferrari wasn't someone who was like, well, let me think about how I feel about it. He's instinctual and moving forward.
Wasn't his thing like when a driver died, he'd say, that's terrible, my condolences to the family, how's the car?
Yeah.
He was very like.
Yeah, well, in the movie, he talks about a little bit. He had two good friends, Campari and Borzacchini, who were killed by cars that he made, and so he just he came up with this system of dealing with it, his own psychology of just building a wall. So if anything, and being unemotional about it, and manipulating personalities to get what it is that he wanted, the best out of them, but not getting so close that he would betray any kind of emotion or anything like that when they would die. Yeah.
I cannot wait to see this. Did you shoot this in Italy? Please say yes.
In Modena, the town, everything. It'll make more sense when you see the film. But the haircut, the barber where he gets a haircut is the barber where he gets his haircut. The guy who's cutting his hair is the grandson of the guy who cut his hair. The opera house is the opera house. Everything is where the crash is at the end is the actual crash. I would say more about it, but
how long were you shooting over there?
4 months. 4 months, like a month of pre-production.
Is it annoying to have to be working that hard in a place that gorgeous with that good of food and stuff and be like, well, you did have weekends off, right? Or you just
we have weekends off, but it was like prosthetics, and it's the middle of August in Italy, in Modena, which is the hottest fucking time of the year. So you're doing recovering on the weekends. And my family was there, so you're just recovering because it wound up being like 17-hour days, 18-hour days, sometimes 20-hour days.
Where do you go?
Long.
Do you have to go somewhere mentally when you go on? Do you have like a I don't know if this is a stand-up comedian thing, because like I can do my shit in real time in an hour and 15 minutes. I am done, and I can just go chill out. Where like movie, like you have to be there. Like I always leave my phone in the trailer because I don't want. I just look at it like I'm going into a casino. Like I don't know what time it is. I don't know what it is. I'm just here. I'm doing whatever they tell me to do, and then somebody just goes, "Hey, it's lunchtime." You're like, "Oh, okay. I guess it's noon."
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Wait, when you travel on stand up, you're saying that when you're done, you're done. You're shut it off. Is that what you mean?
No, I'm saying that the difference between acting, like the mental strength you need as an actor versus a comedian, is like stand up it's a joke. Like there's nobody fucking telling you what to do. You can do whatever you want to do, and if it doesn't work, you can blame the crowd. It's like this fucking amazing. That's why so many of us are assholes. We're just, you just fucking fuck this state, and just fucking you just move on, right? There's really, you can, if you're not careful, there's no self-examination, like learning about yourself. But I felt like. Then with acting is that you have to be on like this team, and like you can't be like, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. You people suck. You can't do that. You can, yeah. So you have to like go there and just know that like, all right, I guess we're doing 17-hour days on this thing, and then it's almost like doing cardio. You have to get like used to doing that.
Yeah.
And
to me, it's very similar to the military, actually. I mean, the stakes are completely different, but it's all about working within a group of people, and you have a role, and you have to do your role really well, and you have to support all the personalities that come in, because for the sake of the movie, not necessarily you. It's the crossovers are obvious to me.
How did you coming from like? The military, like you fit in with Marines and then you also fit in with actors. That's pretty wild to me.
Yeah, I didn't initially with actors. I do now. I mean, it's all about, I'm sure with the same thing with comedy, it's finding the right group of people. I don't fit in with all actors. You can tell right away if an actor comes on set and it's very much about them and their performance and what it is that they're trying to, versus an actor who comes on and because it's stressful, as you know. You're fighting technology, you're fighting time, you're racing the clock, and someone's videotaping the whole thing, and you're never going to come back there and do it again. And if in the midst of all of that stress and stakes, they're there to kind of serve the film and the bigger picture, and you as a scene partner, like those are people that you try to hold on to, and other people that are there for their own thing, or they're fucking checked out when that's your coverage, or they're taking up time and wasting energy, then you try to get rid of those people as soon as possible.
People on their phones in between things.
Fucking yeah.
I don't know how they do that.
I can't stand it.
All right.
I go in a rage about phones.
I thought that was just me.
Phones on a set?
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking can't stand phones on a set. Like, we are doing this now. We're here doing it now. We're never going to come back here and do this thing again. And this is going to live on forever. And you've left your family and your kids and your house, and to come here and do this, and you have to go back and explain that this is what I was doing. Your wife is picking up the kids at school and dealing with sickness, and you're calling. It's like it better be fucking worth it.
Right.
I think.
I think what's worth what you guys did is actually going to be at the movies. Which is something that I'm hoping like guys like you keep having. You got to root for every movie at this point, because it's just that shared experience thing. I know I sound like an old guy, but like, I had a small part in this Sandler thing called Leo, and we went for the premiere, and it was a packed house, and there was a bunch of kids there and parents there, and the writing was just amazing, and Adam, of course, was hysterical.
He's
and
great.
Just like hearing everybody laughing and then feeling like legitimate, because it was legitimately funny. Once again, nobody had to like fake it. I was walking out like, man, I fucking missed that, as opposed to just sitting there, laying in bed, scrolling and like, I'll watch the first 40 minutes of this, or like,
right.
I wish streaming services too, like when there was a TV series, if they would just sort of like put it out like, one episode a week like they did, then I feel like they could relax and not have to be like this fucking, whale eating plankton, coming up and just a big mouthful of content every month. It's like, why don't you fucking stretch it out and then give the writing staff a chance to catch up? Because I remember I did this fucking animated show. It took us a year to do it. It'd be 8 episodes, half-hour episodes. You could watch the whole thing in 4 hours, and it would come out, and people would binge it, and people were like, that was great. When's the next one coming out?
Right.
It's just like
next.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna take me like a like a year to with all kinds of help to try to do this again. So like I just feel like there's so many great things being made, and that seeing them on a big screen with the public, I still think that's cool. And I don't like that whole, if it's a great TV series, it's like a fine wine and you're like shotgunning it.
Right.
And just to grab like another bottle. So I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think cinema's going to just go away? Like nobody's going to go to the movies?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pessimistic about most things, but that to me, that's why I like this one so much, because this is a kind of movie when I was like first discovering films as a teenager that I always imagined that I'd get to do, where it's like a very character-driven, cinematic, thing that has high stakes. It's accessible by everybody, but not so dumbed down that like, every plot point has to be spelled out, and it just doesn't.
I like when movies tell me what I'm supposed to be thinking.
Yeah. This does not do that.
All right, I got to ask you, because one time we were in New York, we grabbed a beer, and you were telling me that you were getting ready to do this really cool movie with this French director, I believe.
Yeah, Leos Carax.
Yeah, it was called Annette.
Yep.
And you were going to be playing a stand-up comedian. That's the first time I met you.
Yeah.
And you wanted to pick my brain.
And I went and saw you at this
the
Patrice O'Neill
benefit.
Yeah. You went on last, and it was like
leveled
the
flatline.
No.
Just shit the bed.
Energy just sank. Yeah. No. It was really impressive.
Why is this guy on stage?
No, the place just get erupted. That was.
I appreciate that. I want to see that movie. Where can I? Because I never ended up seeing it. I am lost in the world of stand-up and watching sports. I'm a big bread and circus guy. Like whatever they want me to watch to distract me from what's going on. I'm there. Macy's Day Parade, football on Sunday. So, did you ever end up doing stand-up? Trying it? Going on stage?
No. In the stand-up, when you see the movie, it's very, choreographed. It's not like, we talked about like, I forget like Andy Kaufman and things like that, where the comedian in this movie was very, experimental and, not joke punchline, kind of thing. There's like singing to the audience and they sing back. It's a very...
you should check out, if you have time when you're out here, you got to go see this guy, Brian Holtzman.
Brian Holtzman.
That fucking guy is, in his own way, is doing his own Andy Kaufman thing, where it's like what he's doing is like, it's like he's beyond a comedian's comedian. Like he's like his own like entity. And what I love about what he does is he has to have known that like, what he's doing is not going to make somebody like back in the day at must-see TV, like, oh, this could go on after Ellen, right? Right? Like he just, and everybody else, and myself included, we're playing that game of like, all right, industry's here, try to work clean, talk about your family.
Right.
He never did that shit, and he's just one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen. I had a friend of mine, Greg Fitzsimmons, recently saw him and was telling me the stuff that he was talking about. You have to see that guy, because what's great about him is you still get to see him. He has like his fans that see him, but like the best thing is seeing somebody discover him for the first time and be like, what the fuck is this guy saying? Like, I'm trying to give you an example without doing one of his jokes.
Like kind of a Sam Kinison.
Yeah, you know what? When I look at him, you know who I see on stage? I see George C. Scott. Like George C. Scott.
Wow.
Doing and he looks like, and he kind of in a way almost looks like Jack Nicholson when he played Jimmy Hoffa. Remember when he had like the flat top and the mustache?
Yeah.
The guy, he's a retired dog catcher, and he used to work, was an airplane mechanic.
Wow.
And he is on his own fucking thing that is so beyond anything I'm doing or anybody else. I'm telling you, this fucking guy is I know you've already done the role or whatever, but if you just want to go in late night at the Comedy Store and just watch a guy fucking blow people's minds.
No, I love stuff like that. Even off-Broadway plays where someone's reading stage directions for... I love the uncomfortableness of how long could we keep this going?
Yeah, I've always had watching people like that. There's that fascination, like the balls that it takes to do it. And it's not done in like a self-sabotage, because there's a difference between self-sabotage and just deliberately fucking something up because you have a fear of success, and actually being like, no, like this is who I am, and I don't fit in with whatever the fuck that is, but guess what? I don't give a shit. I'm not conforming because I have to do it. So I would highly recommend him. So Ferrari comes out Christmas Day. Michael Mann, I mean, see, my wife wanted to go to the Lakers-Celtics game. I'm like, why not go to a fucking basketball game on Christmas Day? Now the movies might be a different thing. So I don't know if you're supposed to promote anything else. How long does this media tour go for? How long have you been doing it? Is it like the old days where they fly you to the Canary Islands?
No. Now I went to London, and now I'm here. We did something in New York. I'm here for 4 days. I go back to New York for a week where I live, and then I'm done.
You doing a lot of the Zoom interviews or no?
I'm doing one later, but not only really one. This one I'm doing a lot for because, I mean, honestly, this sounds like promotional bullshit, but I love this, and I do film, and I think it's rare, and his films in particular I think are so rare. And you know what you were saying up top, it's not just a weak plot with a bunch of cars. It's Penelope Cruz and Shailene Woodley and Jack O'Connell and Patrick Dempsey. It's really great actors giving great performances, and the backdrop is this really specific, well-told story that I think has legs. So I'm really proud of it, actually. So I for this one, I would do kind of anything for it, for people to see it, because I think it's really great.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see it. Go see Ferrari, Michael Mann, Adam Driver. It's coming out Christmas Day. Go out to the movie theaters. Get out of the house. You're going to be sick of seeing your family members and everything. Dude, it was such a thrill to have you,
good to see you again.
Come in here. And you know what? I didn't ask our common denominator here. The Star Wars thing.
Oh, yeah.
Were you a fan before you got in it?
Yeah.
You watched the stuff?
Yeah, when I met you, you were about to go in to do something with it, right?
Yeah, so I got a lot of shit because I used to always make fun of it.
Oh.
No, but the reason why I did was because everybody loved it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's that comedian thing. It was like, oh, they're loving this thing. I'm gonna shit all over this. It's like doing stand up in Green Bay. You got to go there and make fun of the Packers, and you got to make fun of the cheeseheads. And if you go to a red state, you have to trash Trump. And if I'm out here, I got to make fun of Joe Biden. I mean, you just have. Right. Other than that, like, where is the fun? So, anyways, dude, I'm such a huge fan. You're such a great guy, and I'm really happy for you. And I mean, to have you and Michael Mann and doing the Enzo Ferrari story, like, I can't even tell you how. Like, I mean, I went to the F1 when it was in Vegas. I went to the one in Austin, Montreal, and then I've seen MotoGP one time. So I'm sort of a closet gearhead that can only change the oil in a car. But I'm going to be very excited to see this. So thank you so much for coming in. Adam Driver, everybody. This has been the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday, December 14th, 2015. What's going on? How are you? I'm in New York City. It's Sunday night. 8:24 left in the third quarter. New England Patriots versus the Houston fucking Texans. I am in New York City to promote, finally, the fucking, we're finally putting out efforts for family. I know I've been talking about this shit, but I got to do it. Tomorrow I'm fucking media boy, monkey boy. Going to be fucking going all over town and all over on the fucking phone and all that shit, talking about this wonderful new show that we have coming out. So if you guys can do something for me, I would really appreciate it by watching it December 18th on Netflix. There, I got it out of the way. All right. And anyways, and also thank you for everybody who watched the pie crust video, huh? Oh, Billy Baker got over 600,000 hits.
You know, and I learned some shit. Some people like, don't use Crisco. You should use fucking lard. And you know what's funny? Was somebody got me a thing of lard, and I keep forgetting to use it. So I'm going to try that next time. And then also people said a better way to pick up the pie crust is you fucking slowly roll it over with the rolling pin. I didn't know either one of those. But the guy who told me, I've read it on some fucking website, he just goes, oh, Bill, like 20 bills. You were doing so well. It's like, dude, will you fuck, you know, so you know how to pick up a fucking pie crust better than I do. Why don't you just fucking tell me how to do it? Why do you got to act like the fucking sky just fell? It didn't. My pie crust came out fine. Everybody is such a fucking cunt. You know what amazes me about adults? Is that whole fucking thing that he just did. Oh, Bill. You know what that really is? That is literally his fucking inner child. Literally going, mommy, look at me. I know how to do it better. It's like, just fucking grow up. Am I being a cunt right now? I don't think I am. Oh, Jesus, they're showing the fucking highlights of the Patriots special teams. So they fumbled another fucking punt. Gave these jerk-off Texans another chance here. I'll tell you right now, I don't buy J.J. Watt's intensity. I just don't buy it. I think he's just hamming it up for the fucking cameras. He's got a fucking scowl on his face before the game even starts. You know what I mean? What are you mad at? Jumping jacks? Touching your toes? That stupid fucking commercial where that bluegrass band starts spraying water in his face and then he yells at his locker and then there's nobody there. I get it. He gets up for games. You know? Give me Ray Lewis anytime. I would rather have Ray Lewis screaming and yelling. You know what I mean? Than that fucking supersized astronaut-looking guy. I'm just fucking with you. He's a great player, and I'm so psyched one of his hands is wrapped up. Thank God we would have been in fucking trouble this game. Hopefully, you're not sitting there with some fucking cat ate the canary smile on your face, knowing that I'm going to do the rest of this podcast watching the Patriots somehow blow a 14-point lead. I know that's not going to happen, right? Get him! Oh, you fucking cunts. Over the middle. So anyways, I got here on Thursday. I've been doing some stand-up, getting ready for these talk shows and shit I got to do. I'm doing Tonight Show. I'm doing Jimmy Fallon on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I'm in L.A. doing Conan, and then I'm officially on goddamn vacation. But had a great week, dude. Had a great time being back here in New York. It is unsettlingly warm. The only thing more scary about how fucking warm it is back here is people's reaction to it. They fucking love it. These East Coast people, after taking it in the face, old man winter every fucking year, the overwhelming response to global warming up to this point is like, yeah, bring it on. I'm loving this. I saw a woman in a fucking half shirt. Not a half shirt. She had her belly showing like she was going to be dancing behind one of them fucking chicks that can't really sing, and they use the auto-tune, so they got to show their tits a little bit, show their little naughty little bits, a little bit of the naughty bit, right? She's walking down the street, and I was like, oh, my God. When I saw her, she was gorgeous. Then I was just thinking, like, dude, whenever the fuck it happens. Like, it's December 10th. She's walking down the street like it's April. Or possibly even May. And so then I went on stage and I was joking about it at the stand, and this fucking lady in the front row, just all she could talk about, she was just nodding and nodding and nodding. I was just going, you realize this whole fucking city is going to look like Venice. It's going to be underwater, right? And she was just going like, yeah, I know, but I love the weather. It's over. It's fucking, I am convinced of it. It's fucking over. People will choose the convenience right in front of their face, and they won't see the volcano fucking erupting, in the distance. They don't give a fuck. If in that moment the hand in the face is going to fucking be more soothing, that's what the fuck they're going to look at. And who's kidding who? I don't have any solutions, and I'm part of the problem, but at least this is the only thing I could say. At least I have the decency to be afraid. I'm not doing anything about it. I'm trying to eat less fish. I feel bad for the bees, but what am I going to do? Just me walking around being alive. I'm contributing to this shit. Not to mention, I'm flying I flew all the way across the country to promote a fucking cartoon. Get on the ball. That's a live ball. Fuck you. That's not an incomplete pass. Fuck you. Oh, you fucking bastards. Anyways, now they're having a discussion. What happened? He went back out. Clearly an incomplete. I don't know. This is going to be one of the ones. He'll stop his hand motion going forward. He stopped the throwing motion and gripped the fucking ball. Ugh. These stupid fucking replays in the NFL, going to the video booth. This is like, it turned all of these moments like this. This is why I hate NBA basketball. Is the timeout, how fucking long it takes. By the way, congratulations to the Golden State Warriors winning 28 fucking games in a row. I don't think I'm trying to think what that could ever be broken. I mean, that is insane. And as much as they didn't break the Lakers, their record, that was still amazing. And I wish I could actually have watched the fucking double overtime game against the Celtics. That looked like an instant classic. Of course, I was out, telling jokes and that type of shit. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys, some of you people always ask me, talk about hoop. I just can't fucking watch it. I try. I like college hoops, I actually was going to watch North Carolina because, once again, they got a great team. They're fucking ranked second. The fucking Tar Heels, right? And I came in here, but my wife always sits down and she wants to watch dumb TV. She goes, can I just sit down and watch dumb TV? And it's that fucking Kardashian shit, which has been on a goddamn loop. That shit the other day, okay? And it was on, they got enough episodes now. It's like the fucking Simpsons, where you can just do a whole weekend of nothing but the Simpsons. You can do that with the Kardashians now. So she just kept watching them. And I had to get up and walk into the bedroom and close the door. The show, it literally puts me in a fucking bad mood. I know that there's a clip I just saw on Facebook. Of course I'm on Facebook. I'm a white guy in my 40s. I love Facebook. As much as the youngsters hate it. Everything that they hate about it, I fucking love about it. But anyways, there's some local news show or whatever, and this guy just fucking sums up. He snaps. He completely loses his composure and just says, like, nobody gives a fuck about this stupid fucking family. And then these two chicks laughing. One of them agrees, and then the other like, just breathe. Like, that makes it better. It's like, just enough already. My wife has it on so much, I'm actually starting to understand. Like the dude, who looks like a fucking mannequin. He's got perfect hair, perfect white teeth. He's always walking around in a suit, but he's never at work. And I finally just sit there and go, what the fuck does that guy do for a living? And they're like, nobody really knows. Nobody knows what he does. He's always walking around like dressed like Bud Fox. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting sucked into this thing. So I just went into the other room. It's just an endless fucking pursuit. They're just constantly traveling. I love when they go to the Dominican Republic and do they interact with the people? They go right to the fucking resort and they're sitting next to a fucking infinity pool. You know what I mean? It's like, why don't you just stay home? You already live in that climate, you dumb fucks. Let me tell you about the time I went to the Dominican Republic. I went there and they took us. Nice. Oh, fumble. Get that motherfucker, you fat fuck. That's not yours. God damn that fat fuck. He landed right on it. Probably thought it was a pork shoulder. Oh, great. And we get hurt. Wonderful. For fuck's sakes. Anyways, so I go to Dominican Republic with the wonderful lady I was dating at the time. Fucked that relationship up, as I did everyone until I met my lovely wife. And we stayed at a resort, right? We show up, and I got there, and within you see how people are living as you're driving there, and you're like, holy fuck. It was my first time in a so-called third world country. I didn't know what the fuck that means. It just always means it's a bunch of broke people. I don't know. So I fucking it was staggering. I saw a couple of nice houses, and everything else was like a fucking tin shack, and we're fucking blowing by all this poverty. and you're taking it all in. It's an absolute shock when you're spoiled ass fucking American. All right? I don't give a fuck what your situation is in this country. For the most part, you're living like a fucking king compared to this stuff, right? So we end up getting to the resort, and then all of a sudden everybody has on like these fucking Hawaiian shirts saying hello, asking to take your bags, and it's like, am I supposed to forget what the fuck I just saw? So the entire time I'm on this vacation, what's funny about the resort is there's like literally like a prison wall all the way around the whole fucking thing. And you just feel it. You just felt it. Like late at night, if I get too close to that wall, somebody is going to reach over it, yank me over it, and no one's ever going to see me again, because that's the level of desperation down here. And my favorite part / the scariest part of the trip was we actually went horseback riding, and we went to a cave where there was water. You went to the water, you had to go underwater and then come up to the other side of the different cave. I know this sounds like a fucking Hardy Boys episode, but we actually did it. And I remember the tour guide who took us, I had to stop at his fucking house. So I am sitting there in the front passenger seat of his car, as everybody is looking at me, basically the whitest motherfucker on the planet. And I had to sit there like, are they looking at me like, Jesus Christ, how often do you see a redheaded white dude down here? Were they looking at me like a white elephant? Or were they looking at me like, God knows what our foreign policy did, and now they're in that situation? I had no fucking idea. But it was definitely, I don't know. But I was still glad I did it. I still went out and interacted. I actually gave the horseback thing and the cave shit. I actually was giving money to people outside of that fucking resort. It didn't feel right. Does that make any sense? I don't fucking know. I'm watching the fucking game here. But anyways, I'm talking about the Kardashians. How like they go to all these impoverished places and they just still end up next to an infinity pool, which to me is like, why the fuck would you leave? You're not interested because you're starving and you got food, right? Okay. She just went, like 20 fucking times. She asked me when this game was going to be over because she wanted to watch dumb TV. And I wanted to be like, you know what? This is my dumb TV. This is my keeping up with the Kardashians. I watch the Patriots. Come on, Neil. Look at Tom Brady. Isn't he dreamy? He looks like that guy with no job on the Kardashians, doesn't he? Except he's a man. Anyway, so today in New York, I actually went to the premiere of a movie called Daddy's Home, starring Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. And that comes out, I think, on Christmas Day. And if you blink, you'll miss me. I have a small part, and I got to go there. And, am I going to yawn my way through this whole fucking thing? I imagine I am. Verzi's on his way. I think this is going to be a two-parter. This is going to be the first part I do today. You know what? Who's kidding who? This podcast just became late. I was hoping I could finish this thing before Verzi got here. I got media all day tomorrow, and I told Paul I was going to go out and go get a beer with him. I'm going to do that so Nia can watch dumb TV. I'm going to go out to a bar. I'm going to watch the rest of the game. There, I confess. But you know what? I did make the pie crust video. I hope it helped you guys out. And it's got over 600,000 hits. That fucking pie crust video's got more hits than most of my specials. And this week I actually finally was able, those ribs that I was smoking, I was telling you about, they came out fucking delicious. And what I learned was it doesn't matter, at least on the green egg. The big green egg, like as long as you got smoked that first hour and a half, something like ribs. Now, I'm a total fucking novice. This is the second time I ever tried it. This is the first time I ever did it successfully. The other time I had to finish them off in the oven, which isn't necessarily bad. Good. Nia just got fucking 2-ply toilet paper. 3-ply? You got the most ply toilet paper, right?
It was like 4 pliers.
Oh, my God. I can't tell you who stayed here. I'm not going to tell you who stayed here, but he stayed here and he fucking loaded this place up. It's not even 1-ply toilet paper. It's like literally almost see-through.
He was trying to be nice by making sure we had plenty of...
I don't know what he was trying to do, but all I know is I would rather wipe my ass with sandpaper. There, I said it. All right? Look, I understand if you're in a financially rough place, but, you know, can you put a price? You know what I mean? I might as well take a belt sander to the crack of my ass. It's like, what are we doing here? You know, it's very easy to go steal some Kleenex out of these fucking stores. Give your ass a fighting chance. Anyways, so I found with the big green egg, what I did was I followed all the videos basically of how to start the fire. One of these guys, they always make these fucking videos on how to smoke something, and all they talk about is their rubs and how long they leave it in there. And the most important fucking thing on the big green egg is, dude, what does your fire look like? What's the percentage, you know, those burned up fucking coals versus your wood? So I did like half of that, or like not the shit that's got the chemical on it before everybody gives me a rough time. It's the shit that looks like how a tree looks when it's in the middle after a forest fire and it's put out. I use that natural shit. And then I had these big blocks of hickory that I'm told it doesn't make a difference if you soak them or not. So I didn't soak those, but then I had a bunch of those, just the chips that you soak overnight. I soaked those things overnight, and I had an insane amount of smoke for the first about hour and a half of the cook. And I kept it roughly at about 250 the entire time. And some people might think that's a little high. I don't know what. They came up. So rather than doing it for 4 hours, I took it out at about 340, 345. They came out great. I'll post a couple of pictures of it. But one of the most exciting parts of my week was Nia tried them and came out to the kitchen and fucking high-fived me and did a little dance. It's the fuck was the, you know what, Nia? That was the highlight. You know? Because I know, well, when I made the ribs and you actually enjoyed them.
I enjoyed your cooking.
No, but I was trying something new.
It was delicious.
All right, thank you. You know what? There's one of the, sometimes you just know when you're not supposed to talk to your wife. Right now, she's focused on something else. Or maybe I annoyed the shit out of her earlier. I have no fucking idea. But let's get on with the pod. I've just been like fucking running my yap here. Let's, what do we got? Now I got to type in the fucking password. Go. Jesus Christ. Why? You know what? I love how fucking difficult you have to make these fucking passwords. You know what I mean? Like you have like governmental secrets in here. Saturday night. Did you guys watch the fucking UFC? How insane were those fights? I don't know anybody's fucking name other than Conor McGregor. Did you see that one fight? That dude he was like this. I don't know what the fuck to call the guy. He's got to have some sort of nickname. He just got on this guy's back and he wouldn't get off him. Every time he'd like go to shake him off, he'd get back on him. It's like, you know, you ever have like a fucking, I don't know, your fingers are wet and you pick up a hair and you're trying to get it off. You got to wipe it on something else and then somehow it just comes back to you. You know what it's like when you take out cellophane or whatever that saran wrap shit. It just starts sticking to itself and you try to fucking, I can undo it. I can save it. And you're like, fuck this piece, right? That's what he was. He was like the human version of... That's not a good nickname for fucking a fighter, is it? Human Cellophane. I don't think that's too intimidating. He was just on this fucking guy, and the dude could not get him off, and he was named after... He was Gunnar Nelson. And for half a second, I thought he was the son of the Nelsons, who were the son of Ricky Nelson, who went to that garden party, right? To reminisce with his old friends. Remember that? I went to a garden party to reminisce with my old friends. You like Ricky Nelson, Nia? You like the simplicity of those old songs? The sound of thunder in the background?
Figure this out.
That's one of my gloves. Come over here and talk to me for 2 seconds. Let me sing you some Ricky Nelson. Maybe this'll ring a bell. Hang on 1 second.
Verzi.
Hold on. Hey, Verzi, where you at?
I'm on 47th and 7th.
All right, dude. I'll be downstairs in like 10 minutes. I'm wrapping up my podcast with the first half of it, all right?
Okay.
All right, buddy. I'll see you in a minute.
All right.
Bye. All right, let me sing you a little bit of Ricky Nelson. Maybe this will...
I know who Ricky Nelson is. I know who his sons are. They had long blonde hair.
Do you know the songs?
Sang something. No. It was probably like, heaven isn't too far away. Like
That's not them. I'm talking about his dad. Their dad.
Oh, yeah. He was some like, I'm walking Yes, indeed. I'm
No,
walking.
he had a very simple song. Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain. Telling me what a fool I've been.
Yeah, it was very,
and something and a something got away again. It's something and a something.
Okay.
Rain, please tell me, does she love me so?
Why are you torturing me?
You know what? Because this is my odd way of showing that I love you.
I love you too, but you're torturing me. I want to eat my Thai food and watch my dumb TV. I love you very much.
You want me to get out of here? What are you going to watch? You going to watch the
Get
Kardashians?
the fuck out. It's Sunday night. It's a big night in reality television. I need you to leave.
Can I ask you a question? Why do I always have to get the fuck... Like, football's my dumb TV. How come I always have to fucking leave?
You know what? That's a great point.
And that's why I love you. You know, few women, few human beings can actually be like, you know what, that's a good goddamn point.
Yes, I do.
You're just like, get out. Oh, all right, beat it.
I beat it?
Yeah, you beat it. I'm going to wrap this up right now. And I'm
Paul Verzi waiting for you all this time? Oh, you're a terrible friend.
Yeah, you know what? You're a terrible person. Actually, you're actually concerned about Paul Verzi. Your first concern is me getting the fuck out of here so you can watch old fucking chalk teeth there, pretend like he has a job.
I love Paul Verzi, and I don't want him to be waiting around for you.
Listen to the rhythm of your fucking bullshit. Acting like you care about my friends. You just want me to fucking leave this place so you can watch those stupid twats. Nene, please tell me why you watch that show. Something, something, something with the mistletoe. I get it. You have a big round ass. Stop greasing it up and putting it on the magazine. I'm sorry. All right. I'll be back maybe tomorrow and finish this fucking thing up. Jesus Christ, can you fucking block? We don't have anybody left. All right. I'm going to say that we're going to fuck this game up. This is what's going to happen. They're going to come back. They're going to make it, 20-6? Yeah, it's going to be 20-20. And we're going to have to drive down the fucking field and hopefully kick another long field goal. Jesus Christ. The old spin move. Good Lord, he didn't even touch him. All right. I'll talk to you guys in a minute. Well, it'll be 2 seconds, all right? Okay. All right. Anyway, so as I was saying, it's still Sunday night. I just saw the Patriots fucking win. Ended up being 27-6. Okay, so I overreacted. What do you want from me? So where did I leave off? I left off with Human Cellophane, right? I was talking about those fights I saw. The fucking guy. Let me backpedal. Where the hell was I? Gunnar Nelson couldn't get the Human Cellophane off him. And then there was the guy who fought the guy who comes in like a spider, and he stuck his face out and got knocked out, and then he kicked him in the leg and broke his leg. That fucking guy fought. Jesus Christ. I don't think I've ever seen a guy get hit that many times in the head. I thought the fight was over. I didn't realize that the referee jumped in because the round ended. I mean, that was like a fucking watching like a Rocky fight. When you watch a Rocky fight going, dude, there's no way anybody could take that many shots to the head. You'd be dead. You'd be on your ass. The fight would be over. This fucking guy took it. I don't know what I'm talking. I don't ever know the names. And then the Burger King guy, the fucking Conor McGregor, was fighting this Brazilian dude. He's got this crazy scar on this. He's already Brazilian, so you already know he's a fucking nightmare. He's going to take it to the ground. You're fucked, right? Was he not kicking people in the face too? This guy can kick your ass no matter how. I don't give a shit. You're sitting in a chair or fucking running down the sidewalk. He's one of those guys. The guy can kick the shit out of you. So I'm thinking, wow, man, this is going to be a fucking unbelievable test for him. And he just ran right at him. He bull rushed him. And Conor did the old right there, Fred. Bam. Guy does a face plant. He took 2 judges' decisions to the face after that, whatever, the hammer fished. Is that what they call it? Took the old gavel. 2 hits of the gavel, and that was it. It was fucking over. And I like how the guy said afterwards, he goes, we got to fight again. That wasn't really a fight. It's like, no, it was a fight. You got knocked out, dude. That usually indicates there was some sort of a fight. It's not like you fucking slipped and fell and hit your head on a desk. There was no desk in that octagon. That was his left hand. But Jesus Christ, man. That was fucking amazing. I was actually talking to some of the guys I was watching the fight with. I go, how much tension is going to be in Dana White's house over Christmas if Conor McGregor loses too? After fucking what's-her-face lost, female Tyson, right? Then you're going to have Irish Tyson. If they both go down, then who's going to fucking sell a fight? You need them the way they talk shit. Do you know how much fucking money is sitting in fucking that's sitting in Dana White's sock drawer right now because you got two fucking amazing athletes like that who also know how to sell a fight? You know what I mean? If that other guy won, now you got a guy who needs a fucking interpreter for me to understand it to sell the goddamn fight. It's over. I don't even like fucking watching movies with subtitles. I gotta deal with the guy that he's got to have he's hyping a fight. It's like I'm watching a senator testifying. His fucking lawyer keeps coming over, whispering in his ear. I don't want to see that, right? I don't even know what I'm saying here. Anyways, I forgot to tell you guys this shit. I almost forgot this fucking story. So I've been trying to work out when I've been here. 2 out of 3 days I've worked out, right? So I go to the gym the first day. It's right down the street from my apartment. There's no fucking problems. I walk in. The guy behind the counter is cool. There's nobody else there. No manager, just some cool guy. He goes, hey, by the way, it's $15, but if you go on the internet and you look this shit up, it only costs you $5. I said, dude, I'm old. I suck at the internet. Okay, just generally speaking, I'm not good at it. He goes, I'm just saying, it's money. I was like, all right, man, I'll try to find the fucking page and I'll come back the next day. I'll only pay $5. So he goes, cool. No problems. No fucking problems. I have a great workout. I fucking throw the weights around. Classic shit. Comedian. I go to the gym in the middle of the day. It's great. There's nobody fucking there. Okay? A couple of trophy wives on treadmills, fucking looking at their Instagram as they walk fucking half a mile an hour. And then you come walking in, and I don't give a fuck what time of day you walk into a gym. If you have to do chest that day, all the benches are going to be taken up. You know what I mean? Nobody's ever doing squats. You can walk into a gym Saturday. Fucking Saturday. Like, what's it busy? Like early in the morning when people come in, whatever, 9 a.m., whatever, fucking the busiest time, right after work. 6 o'clock at night. Okay, you can go walk into a gym and you can just immediately just start doing squats. Nobody does fucking legs. Everybody does the bench. So I walk in there, there's 5 people. They have 3 benches. There's like 5 people working out. 3 of them are guys fucking bench pressing. Goddamn cunts. So I got to sit there and pretend like I'm fucking really stretching. I'm not really stretching. I'm waiting for you to finish. Right? So anyways, that was the first day. So the second day I go back, and I'm like, all right, here we go, I'm going to run into this guy again. He's going to say, how come you didn't get the fucking thing that only makes you pay $5? I'm be like, because I suck at the internet, remember? I'll pay $15, I don't give a fuck, right? And I come showing up, he's not there. There's some lady there, and then this fucking manager buzzing around. Hey, how long are you in town for? Would you like to get a membership? Blah, blah. I said, no, dude, I just want to work out today. He goes, all right, fill out this form. So it's name, address, phone number, email, all of this shit. So I write down a fake name and I say I'm from Alaska, and that's it, right? So he goes, no, I'm sorry, sir. You got to fill out the rest of this, where all the address is. Now, all I had to do was just fill out a fucking fake address, but, it's not how I'm wired. I got to make a point. I go, dude, I have to give you my home address? He goes, yes. I go, dude, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I'm not going to give you my home address. I'm not going to tell you where I live so I can work out one day at a gym. And he goes, well, you have to fill it out. I go, why? Why do you need to know where I live? And he hems and haws, and I just keep going, why do you need to know where I live? Okay, it's $15 to work out. I have the $15. I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to work out at the gym. Why do you need to know where I live? So finally he goes, well, sir, God forbid if you have some sort of incident happens and we need to get in contact with somebody. I said, so you're telling me that God forbid, to use your expression, God forbid I keel over on the elliptical. You're not gonna dial 911. You're gonna go drive to my house and knock on the door and hope somebody's there. That's what you're gonna do. You're not gonna do that. You're gonna call 911 like everybody else. And he just keeps going, oh, you know, who are we going to contact? It's like, what the fuck do you care? Who to contact? You know, I just said, look, if you can tell me why I need to put down my home address, I'll write it down. But other than that, I'll give you a phone number, somebody to call if something happens to me. But don't call them. They're not a doctor. Call 911. Tell you what, yeah, that's the deal. Call 911, and here's a number, you know, if you want to let my wife know where the hell I'm going. That's it. You don't need to know where I live. So the guy finally goes, well, you have to fill it out. I go, why? And he goes, it's protocol. And I go, exactly. You cannot logically defend why you want my home address. You're getting my home address so the people in corporate will have that information and they can sell it to other people. Right? So I go, I'm not working out here, right? So I go to walk away. And then the lady behind the desk, she goes, have a nice day, sir. I don't say anything, keep walking to the elevator. She goes, have a nice day, sir. And I turn around and go, I understand sarcasm. You're not telling me to have a nice day. You're telling me to go F myself. I got in the elevator. I know a lot of you guys are like, Bill, why don't you just you write a fake address? That's what You know why? Because at some point, there's got to be some sort of pushback. Somebody has to fucking complain about this shit. When you walk into those places and they go, do you have an ID? Don't ever hand them your ID. You hold it. And just say, here you go. I'll hold it right up to your fucking face. You want to read it? Go ahead and read it. But you're not typing in shit from my ID onto your fucking computer. Every time you put down my name and my address, you've added another layer where I am vulnerable to identity theft. And I'm not going to do that just to go work out at a fucking gym. I'm not having a kidney transplant, you cunt. I'm going to go do some fucking pull-ups. Give you all my fucking information. I don't know. You guys probably think I'm a psycho, right? I'm not. I'm right. I'm right on this one. I'm wrong about a lot of other shit. Whatever. This is stupid. Me just sitting here telling you that I'm right. Oh, really, Bill? Do you agree with yourself? That's amazing. Anyways, what else do I want to say? I have the fucking worst goddamn stupid cab driver today. Fucking jump in this fucking thing, right? We're coming from the premiere, right? So, you know, Nia's got her fucking high heels on, and she's not a quitter, so she's keeping those on, and I'm not going to make her walk with heels on. What am I, a fucking animal? Right? So we get in this cab, and we fucking drive down, and this son of a bitch drives right down Fifth Avenue. Fifth Avenue during Christmas, where every mouth-breathing fucking moron wants to stand there, look at the Christmas tree and the people skating. Okay? And he drives down, then all of a sudden you can't make a right. This guy's acting like he's dumbfounded. He can't fucking believe it. And then he ends up cutting over through fucking Times Square. He did everything but try to go through the Lincoln Tunnel to drive like fucking 10 blocks over. And I was sitting there, I get aggressively exhaling. It's the only way I could put it. And my wife, she just fell asleep. She just, there's nothing I could do about it. She just took a nice nap, you know. I wish I could be more like that. All right, anyways. Let's start reading. Oh, you know, I haven't done any advertising for this week, have I? Why don't I read some of these stupid fucking things? So who's kidding who? Why don't I make an attempt? All right. Oh, Jesus Christ. Boop, boop. By the way, did I mention how much friggin' money we raised for all those people? We raised like over 10 grand. All right. And I'm going to throw a nice fucking chunk of change in on top of that. You guys did a wonderful thing. And it amazes me, man, that I did this podcast this long and I didn't realize that you could make an impact like that. So you guys were all part of a great thing. And I really appreciate how much you guys all stepped up. You were very, very generous, extremely generous. You know, it's not even Christmas yet. You already did your good deeds. So now you know you can spike the eggnog, you can get hammered, you know, and treat the people in your family like shit, right? Take them for granted. Fuck them, right? That's what they get for showing up. They knew what they were in for. How many Christmases do they got to spend with you before they realize what you're going to be doing? All right. Let's read some letters. Hey, this one might be a little short because it's already 1 a.m. and I got to be on the fucking radio at 7 a.m. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. All right. Tool for the egg. Hey, Bill, I've been running an egg for several years now. Your podcast about no smoke on ribs had me captivated. I would suggest my tool to stir up the coals and bring bring into contact / smoke and hardwood chips / chunks. What kind of fucking sentence is that? I would suggest my tool to stir up the coals and bring into contact / smoke and hardwood chips / chunks. That's a fucking sentence. You know something? I would suggest getting a sentence tool. How about that? They still make that Hooked on Phonics from way back in the day. That was a classic stand-up reference. Simply purchase a piece of 3 by 16 by 36 pieces of steel from Home Depot. Home Depot. Place and bend 90 degrees, 2 inches from the end. Use this to unplug / stir the coals from the inward vent on the bottom of the egg. Oh, okay. I will utilize this tool during long smoking to invigorate the smoke. This also works to bring air oxygen to the fire to increase the temperature. Simply poke through several of the fire grate holes at the bottom of the egg to increase the airflow. Okay. If you have any issues or just need a pic, just ask. The least I can do for your podcast. So why didn't you fucking send a picture? Now I got to sift through 1,000 fucking emails. No, you know what I did was I layered in some charcoal. Then I had the chips with the chunks of hickory. And then I did another layer on top of that. And then I just put in one little fire starter square. And I did it from the side. So it just slowly burned across and down. It was plenty for ribs. But like if I was ever going to do a pork shoulder, you're talking, I don't know how long. It depends on how big it is. But it seems on average, people, that's like 6 to 10 hours to God knows what. So that, I don't know how I would continue to do that. But I think I would just take it off and I'd lift the grate, the plate setter, and I would just throw the shit in there and then put it back on. I think it would be fine. That's what I would do. You know what the reality is? Why don't I just buy a fucking smoker and be done with it? All right. Traveling with girlfriend / fiance. Hey, Billy Bourdain, I have to disagree with your advice from last week for the guy with the sound engineering job. He said he was a sound engineer in the letter you read out loud. Then later in your response, you mentioned something about building bridges and then again on Twitter. Just a heads up. Dude, this guy is fucking relentless. Some of you guys, you're fucking relentless. Like reprimanding me. All right, so I fucked this fucking thing up. So let me guess. Okay, I think if he's planning on... I like how you think that being a sound engineer, even though I fucked it up, like that's not a quality job. You know what I mean? What do you know? You'd be working in films, right? Isn't that what that job is? Recording bands? That's a fucking great job, and it's a hard... You know what? I'm going to look it up right now before I get another fucking 20 goddamn tweets and emails from you. Sound engineer. An audio engineer working with technical aspects of sound during the process of recording, mixing, and reproduction. Audio engineers often assist record producers and musicians to help give their work the sound they are hoping to achieve. Yeah, that's a fucking badass job that people want to do. All right. Let me get back here. So here we go. I think if he's planning on spending his life with this girl, traveling and having a great time would be a make or break deal for marriage. She said she wanted to travel a year. Suppose it's only 7 months and they go to 7 continents. They even go to fucking Antarctica. Okay, over the course of a year, they get to bang in 7 continents in a year, eat amazing food, see amazing things, and pretty much live their lives like it's a movie. You looked at the negative side, which is fair, but also how often do these things happen? I'd hate to be the guy that didn't take that chance if it were presented. God knows I would. Of course, it all depends on their attitudes and if they're fun, people with positive outlooks and good communication. Food for thought. Hey, dude, just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I went the negative route. I was giving him advice from my heart, which is fucking positive. I'm saying he's got a great job that he was nervous about fucking leaving. Those are his words, not mine. And this is another thing too, dude. You're a fucking man. Okay? If you're not making money, it's not like you can make a baby other than dump your jizz in somebody. You need women can literally create life. Okay? You're like the butter in the fucking pan. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school. I feel like the man should make a fucking living. You got to come home and you got to make enough money that your woman and your family is fucking comfortable. And if you're doing that, you're a fucking man. All right? If you want to go travel around the world on some woman's fucking dime and leave your career behind for a fucking year, a critical goddamn year, and have to start all over again, I think that's nuts. I think that's fucking nuts. All right? Agree to disagree. I can tell you this, dude. When I started out doing stand-up, I was doing this shit every single fucking night. Every night I had a singular focus. What I was trying to do was a job that a lot of people would like to do. So it took a ridiculous level of commitment. And I watched people who didn't fucking travel the world, didn't even have that fucking option. But I watched people not work at it as hard as they could have. And 20 years later, I see the results of that. So that's all I'm saying with this guy. To put play before work is just not how I'm wired. You know what I mean? You're making it seem like this guy, if he takes the sound engineering job, will never have the money or never have the option to go around and travel the world. I don't know. I just feel like as me personally, if I was going to travel the world, it's got to be on my fucking dime. Okay? And my life has to be in a place where I can leave it for a fucking year. If I'm just getting started in a career and I'm just starting to push that fucking rock up the hill and I'm going to go fucking leave and play footsie with some chick, even if she's going to be the chick I'm going to fucking marry for an entire goddamn year, then I'm going to come back and start all over again, I would be going out of my fucking mind. I have to be honest with you, too. As much as I've traveled, there's always a point, and it's usually anywhere between 7 to 10 days into the trip where I just want to go home. I want to sleep in my own bed. I want to be fucking, hanging out with my dog. And not to mention that, I love being a comedian. I want to do some shows. It's fun. So agree to disagree, sir. Agree to disagree. All right? Food for thought. Ugh. Did you type that wearing a sweater with candles on in the background? Candles on? Candles lit? Okay. He said, and go to Cape Carp yourself. Carpe? I don't know what it is. Go seize yourself like Carpe Diem. Okay, go Carpe. Okay, I just can't bear to have you not get the reference and hope someone writes in about it next week. Sorry, thanks. Oh, go Carpe yourself. Oh, I thought it said go to Carpe. Go Carpe yourself. Carpe Diem. Yeah, see, I love how seize the day is just fuck off to your life and go travel around the world. And like seize the day isn't like, you know what? I've made inroads in this really difficult line of work and I'm going to stick with this. Dude, I fucking, something? I started out with comics who did that and stayed home with their family and watched the fucking Patriots game instead of going out and doing a hell gig. I'm telling you, it all fucking matters. It all matters. Wait, what would I know? What the fuck do I know? I did it the way I did it. I'm not fucking traveling the world on somebody else's inheritance. What kind of a fucking bum am I? I'm not fucking doing that. What am I? You know what? I'll do that if you give me a pair of fucking gold digging pumps and I'll fucking rock around in those all goddamn year. I'm going to travel the world. I'm fucking paying for it. I think that says something about you, too, if you feel like, you don't have any problem going around the fucking world on somebody else's dime. I want to earn it. All right, face of sponsorship. Billy Butterworth. Would you ever do a major sponsorship for a big brand? What are your thoughts on the following? Coke, Pepsi, Chili, Sizzler, Wilson Tennis Rackets, or I guess I'm doing it right now. Would I? I mean, it's more would they? I mean, how long would it last? I mean, I can't even get these fucking jerk-off podcast advertisers to stick with me. They're so fucking dumb. They don't realize that if I fuck around and I curse and I be a fucking idiot, you guys actually will listen to it. My philosophy is just because I'm reading advertising doesn't mean the show stops. If the show stops, then you just fast forward through it. It's so fucking simple. They're such idiots. They're like, don't say that about our product. People are going to start believing it. Like you guys actually take anything that I say seriously. Anyways, plowing ahead here. Girl quit job. This lady quit her job and traveled the world. All right, here we go. My girl comes home. Why did I feel like there was something else in here? Did I miss one of these things? Maybe not. All right. My girl comes home early the other day and tells me she quit her job. I work full-time in a metal shop. Jesus Christ, what are you, a blacksmith? And I go to school full-time for engineering. We also have 2 beautiful kids. We cannot afford our house, cars, etc. without her working. And she acts like I'm a bad guy when I get on her about it. Oh, Jesus. I don't know what I should do. I'm thinking of leaving her because this is not the first time she's done this. And in the total 7 years we've been together, she's worked about 2.5 years of around 10 jobs. Wait, she has worked about 2.5 years of around 10 jobs? You mean, and I'm guessing you're saying she's had 10 jobs and collectively worked 2.5 years. Can't take the financial stress anymore. What's your advice? First thing I would do, I'd downsize your life. Just be like, all right, well, look, if you're not going to work, then we got to do something here. That's incredibly selfish. And look, she obviously doesn't want to work. She wants to be at home. She wants to be with the kids. So you need to make enough money to basically, treat her like a third kid. So your lifestyle is going to have to go down then. If that's what I would just sit down and be like, can I ask you a question? Do you want to just stay home and be with the kids? And let her fucking flip out and scream and yell and all that. And just don't lose your cool. Just say to her, is that what you want? Okay? Because I need to know that. Okay? So I don't keep thinking that we're going to be dual income and making financial decisions that way. I can already tell you right now, dude, that the fact that you're working full-time and she's working full-time, and if the second she fucking quits, you're fucked. You guys are living beyond your lifestyle, beyond your means. You shouldn't be living like that. So you're basically, the two of you guys are spending all the money that you're making. That's no way to live. All right? You need to be... You need to downsize your life is basically it. I would drive, use Toyota or a Honda. Those fucking things never die. I'd get one of those. I'd downsize and then, I don't think you just quit on a relationship and walk out on 2 kids, but the stress has to be fucking brutal. And if she's being a fucking baby about it, this is one of these fucking things that, be a nice change on one of those chick shows, where 4 broads sit around fucking talking about women's stuff. They never talk about this type of shit because this would probably be considered sexist if you brought it up. That's a hell of a fucking thing for her to be doing to you. You just got to lay it on the line. Just sit her down and just say, listen, is this what you want to do? I need to know that because I'm not going through this again. All right? And I would just say, you've had 10 jobs in the last 7 years, and you've worked collectively about 2.5 of those 7 years. Okay? When you quit a job like that, just quit a job and have no other job. It puts unbelievable stress on me, and it's not fair to me. Okay? So I need to know, do you not want to work? Do you just want to stay home with the kids? Because if you do, we're going to have to downsize our lives dramatically. If you want to keep living like this, you need to get a job. All right? And if she flips out about that type of thing, that's a tough one. I guess I would be like, when she flipped out, be like, all right, you know something? Scream and yell and get it out of your system. But you have 48 hours to sit down with me and discuss this like an adult and cut a plan. Okay? Or I need to make a decision. Because I'm not gonna live my life with this level of financial stress. Something along those lines. Because I'll tell you, dude, what she's doing to you is unbelievably immature and fucking selfish. When you need dual income and you got 2 kids at home, you just don't quit a fucking job. All right? Jesus fucking Christ. What if you did that? You know what I mean? I'm telling you. This right here, when that fucking guy was sitting there talking, that guy saying like, oh, you should fucking leave your job and go travel around the fucking planet. This is why you don't do that. What you're doing, sir, busting your ass, trying to get ahead, that's what you do when you're fucking young. Okay? It makes your life a hell of a lot fucking easier as you get older. Okay? Because the older you fucking get, you got to be somewhere. You know what I mean? Like they want to hire young people, generally fucking speaking. You have to be at a certain place by a certain fucking age, generally speaking, or they're not going to give you a shot. Okay? It's like that old fucking thing about the fucking, what was it, those 2 animals. One of them was storing away food. The other one was running around like a fucking jerk off. And then the storm finally hits and the ants fucking eating. And then the turtles beat the hare. However the fucking story goes. I got to tell you this. I sacrificed a lot to get where I'm at. And I missed out on a lot of shit. But the shit that on the back end that I ended up getting to do. Okay? There was a whole bunch of stuff that I missed socially, just fun stuff, so-called regular shit that I missed and I slept on a futon, like I've told you a zillion times, till I was about 36, 37 years old. All right? But the outside of that was I got to perform at Madison Square Garden. I got to fucking play drums with Slash and Duff and Guns N' Roses. You know what I mean? That's fucking insane. But you got to be willing to stay on the fucking futon till you're pushing 40. And laying there in the loneliness of that with the fucking voices creeping in your head of doubt, and you have to beat those things down as they're telling you, did I make a horrible fucking mistake? So what you're doing, sir, you're working full-time and you're going to school full-time for engineering, okay? If your fucking wife, no offense, could just fucking ride it out for a couple of fucking years, all right? Until you get your engineering degree, you get on your fucking feet. This is what old school couples used to do, okay? They worked more as a fucking team because generally speaking, divorce was looked down upon. And they always try to make it look like, and there was all these women getting beaten and they just stayed in there. Like every fucking woman was getting the shit slapped out of her. All right? I'm not saying there wasn't women getting fucking, the shit kicked out of them. All right? But there's a lot of fucking people who just throw in the fucking towel because it's hard. And then you're going to get with somebody else and what? It's going to be fucking easy? It is hard. But this is like some shit. You need to iron this out. And she needs to get her fucking head screwed on straight and realize that she's got to fucking support you by keeping up her end of the bullshit while you become an engineer, and then you move up the fucking ladder. And at some point, she's going to get what I think she wants, which is what she's going to get to stay home alone. Nia, can you come over and just help me finish off this podcast? I know you don't want to. Your shoulders literally just slumped. I'll read this really quickly. I know you're tired. Nia, we're all tired. Are you going to sit there like I'm going to scold you like a little kid?
No, I'm just tired. What is the...
I know, it's 1:50 in the morning. All right, this guy, his girl comes home. It's not even your wife? No, but you got 2 kids. Girl comes home early the other day, and she tells me she quit her job. I work full-time in a metal shop, and I'm going to engineering school. I'm going to school full-time for engineering. We also have 2 beautiful kids. We cannot afford our houses and our cars, etc., without her working, and she acts like I'm a bad guy when I get on her about it. I don't know what I should do. I'm thinking of leaving her because this is not the first time she's done this. In the total 7 years we've been together, she's worked about 2.5 of those years and had about 10 different jobs. I can't take the financial stress anymore. What's your advice, Nia Renee Hill?
Yeah, I mean, I think you should definitely talk to her about it, and if you feel like she's not pulling her weight in your situation, then that's a problem. So, yeah, it's stressful. If he's carrying the burden, they have like 2 kids and whatever. I mean, is she just lying around the house all day? I mean, is she at least, you know, taking care of the kids and make sure they have lunches and all that stuff? Or is it just all falling on him? You know, that's really...
Yeah, well, they need the money.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm all right. So I'm
working.
okay. So okay.
Yeah, they both... If that's what their financial situation is, where they both need to be working, then they both need to be working. But I don't know how leaving her is going to alleviate the financial strain. But
No, he's got kids. He's fucked, and then she's gonna bleed him dry because she'll be pissed. I think.
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, she needs to get it together. I'm going to bed.
I'm sorry, Nia. All right.
I'm not going to be good if you ask me to do it and I'm not in the mood to do it.
All right. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. All right. Sorry. Well, I should have known better. When I asked her, she showed us Louis slump. She just literally came out of the bedroom to grab something, and she's going back to going to sleep. I'm like, oh, you want to answer a fucking podcast question? You see the instincts I have, people? All right, listen, F is for Family comes out this Friday, December 18th. For the love of God, please sit down and binge watch it. I know all you Star Wars fans want to go see that fucking movie. When you're done seeing that movie, can you please watch my show? I would really appreciate it. All right, that's the podcast for Monday. Go fuck yourselves. Don't take any shit, and I'll check it on you on Thursday.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Anything Better podcast, NFL edition, going into week number 15. Before we get into this week's picks, we got to shout out our sponsor, the best sponsor out there, the best lines out there, the best live lines out there. It's the BetMGM, everybody. BetMGM app. Here's how you do it with our show. All you do is you download the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Okay, you sign up using bonus code Burr. BURR, and you deposit at least $10 into your BetMGM Sportsbook account. Place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. If the bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. That's right, guys. $10 in. Bet responsibly. Have a good time. And calm yourself down. Don't be like Draymond Green punching people in the face. I mean, I just got to talk about this at the beginning of the show, dude, okay? Because I have no patience for this. These Bobby Knights, these Draymond Green. I used to like Draymond Green. And I used to say Draymond Green, hey, you know, the type of guy, you love him on your team. Dude, the guy.
I hate when people fucking say that. That means somebody's a dirty piece of shit going, you know, you fucking hate the guy, but if he's on your team, you'd love him. No, I wouldn't. I don't like guys that go out and deliberately try. And then he did that passive aggressive thing. Like he was like, whoa, like I didn't do anything. I cannot believe that he got suspended indefinitely. The amount of people in, I would say 3 of the 4 major sports, never baseball. What's baseball? Paul, you're out there, you're fucking throwing the ball around. Nobody gives a fuck. But of the other three major sports, like there's so many guys that should have got suspended indefinitely and just didn't. Fucking lunatics out there.
Dude, it's assault. At what point is it assault? When you're that size and you turn around and you throw a haymaker at a guy's head during a professional game. It's like, you can't do that, man. You can't do that.
I never respected those teams where it's just like, you're better than we are, so we're just going to deliberately injure you until you're down. We're going to beat you down to our talent level. And
Yeah.
dude, that right there is a microcosm of the mindset that a corporation has. You know, win at all fucking cost, no honor, no nothing. Like there's no honor in that way of fucking winning. It's not sports at that point. That's just that you're just teaching people. Like I remember a long time ago, I went to this comedy festival. It was this stupid, sleazy manager there going like, you know, fake it till you make it, you know, and on the way up, if you got to take a joke here or there, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Wow, he said that? Wow.
Yeah. Right after 9/11 too, Paul, insult to injury.
If you got to steal to get there, I mean, geez, that's like, speaking of stealing jokes, some things are happening out there in our world that are going to come out. Oh, Billy, let's get hey, to each his own. Okay. All right, man. Well, we got a lot of weird injuries this week. This is a weird week. TJ Stroud is out, right? Jake.
By the way, before we get going, when does Draymond come back from his suspended indefinitely?
Dude, after
next season?
After seeing what I saw, dude, that's got to be like, I don't know, man. I don't even know if would you let the guy play in the playoffs after that? Dude, that was
like. What I can't stand is Golden State Warrior fans love the guy. And that's to me, which is why I can't stand most fucking people. I can't stand most fucking people because they only give a fuck if shit is happening to them. And then if shit isn't happening to them, they don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
No, that was to me over the line. That was like when I saw that, I'm just like, all right, dude, this dude clearly has Mike Epps. Shout out to Mike Epps, comedian Mike Epps. He had the Golden State Warriors in the audience of a show, and he was making fun of Curry. And he did impressions of Curry. He goes, yeah, that motherfucker, like a little kid chewing on his mouth. And he started skipping. Dude, it was hilarious. And then he saw Draymond Green, and he just goes, man, that motherfucker wants to fight, dude. And he did his body and how he is. And it was so fucking funny and perfect.
Right.
But Draymond Green wants that shit. And I'm glad that it caught up to him because it's bullshit. And you know what, Steph Curry and all them.
This is what I don't get is why doesn't somebody else just kick him in the balls when they're taking a shot? Why doesn't somebody else just go after their knee? Like these dirty guys go around. Hey, these dirty guys, see? Like in hockey, it's just like all those years of fucking guys like Ulf and all of them. It's just like Ty Domi finally punched him in the face. But it's just like somebody should have just blown out his knee and ended his fucking career. Gone out there and just swung a stick at his fucking head. Everybody else go, oh, you know, it'll catch up to him. It'll catch up to him. His guys' careers or seasons are shortened.
How about Steve Kerr and Steph Curry calling him psycho? Dude, what the fuck are you doing? We're trying to go on a run here, you fucking lunatic. Go to anger management, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, where the fuck was that for 10 years, dude? They don't give a shit.
I know.
Dial it down 20%. Still punch him in the head.
Draymond, Jake just said Draymond also had just returned from a 5-game suspension after strangling another player a few weeks ago. Yeah, man. This guy,
I think he's coming to the end of his career, and he's going with his strengths.
Strangling?
Yeah.
Geez. Yeah. The guy's psychotic. Jake, who do we got on? We got big injuries this week, don't we? We got TJ Stroud. We got a bunch of people hurt. All right, Bill, you have first pick because it is week 50.
I like how you got your Yankees hat on because it's that time of year where you guys go shopping. Ba-ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba.
No, I got my Yankee hat on. I got my Yankee hat on because I grabbed it because I'm fucking freezing down here.
I'm fucking with you, dude.
TJ Stroud has a concussion.
You guys haven't gone shopping in years, Paul. You guys were laying low for the better part of a fucking decade and doing great until this past season. Then they had to shut you guys up. All right, a first pick of the week. I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals -3 on the road against the Vikings. They just have an embarrassment of riches at the quarterback position. I just think they keep rolling, and I think the Vikings do what they do this time of year. They just sort of, I'll be home for January, just like the previous 60 years.
That's a good pick.
No Super Bowl in Minnesota. Thank God for college hockey.
Old Thursday Paulie was going to go Thursday tonight, but I'm not touching that game. There's injuries in that. And you know what? It's the Chargers without Herbert. It's the Raiders. I'm not touching tonight, but I will tell you what I'm going to touch. Oh, I'm going to touch this one. I'm not going to take Tommy Cutlets. I know that's what you were thinking. These fucking Giant fans need to relax with this kid. Dude, I'm going to take, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears as road dogs, getting 3.
Dude, they got a great defense. They've let up very few points this year.
Something
for other last place teams.
Yeah, something has clicked with Justin Fields. I just want to see them make this run. I think that they're going to make. I'm going to take them getting 3 on the road in Cleveland.
I like it. I'm going to take the Cowboys getting 2 in Buffalo.
Ooh.
Getting 2. I don't know. I just think they're just, Can we talk about last week, by the way, Paul? How about you with those Giants? I told you to stay away from it. I took the Packers. I was feeling good about it. Your boy Saquon still fumbled, though.
Dude.
Your first ballot Hall of Famer, Paul.
Hey, man. Come on.
Hey, man. I'm not saying he's not a great player. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, Paul. Hey, Paul, my head gets cold, too. That's all I'm saying. I just like Paul. I love Saquon Barkley. The guy's a fucking beast. I just love how much. Yeah. Like, you know what you said to me a few weeks ago? You know when your friend says something to you and then 2 weeks later, you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? When you're like, Bill, you just have no idea what it feels like to be a Knicks fan. And you're talking to a Celtics fan.
Did I say that?
What are you doing? Yeah. You don't even remember. Dude, to go down to the Garden, you just have no idea. I mean, it's just such It's just such a special place.
I don't even remember saying that. I was probably in some.
Paul, you're like a Swiftie with.
All right.
How about a shout out to her, man? How getting these fucking criminals back? All of these fucking criminals fucking stealing all. I love that all of that's starting to come out. How much all of these fucking corporations in show business just steal and how much money people think that we're making. And then you know what I love is then they blame the art. Well, the artist should have blah, blah, blah. It's like the dude was 24. He had him 24 and I don't know anybody lawyer going up against their fucking billionaire team of lawyers.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
I don't know. I'm hearing hesitation.
There's a lot, man. There's a lot of.
I think they let Paul start to throw. He's yet to settle into this game here.
They gotta let me. They gotta unleash me like Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy Cutlets.
I'm gonna, dude. What's his name is not playing.
By the way, Paul, is there a version of the tomahawk chop for Italians? Does it get you annoyed when non-Italians start going like this?
The whole thing, dude, the way his agent looked, it's just getting silly, man. The guy looked like he was in a fucking Halloween costume.
He looks like a C-room headliner.
Horrible.
Like, this is the headliner. Hey, because I'm Italian. And he does, like, all fucking Goodfella jokes.
It looks like he's headlining the off Vegas room. Like, there's the Vegas room, but he's in the same casino, but, like, down the hall.
He's in the big room in Laughlin.
All right, I'm just looking at this, man. They came off of a rough loss.
Yeah, it was a rough one, okay?
I'm gonna take the Miami Dolphins, giving 8.5 to the Jets at home in Miami, dude. They're playing a team. I know the Jets think they're flying right now. I think Miami blows them out. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Jets.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what the Dolphins do. Dolphins fuck up bad teams. Old Joey Stats there. I thought we had a good game. You know, we rushed for fucking over 400 yards. That's a good game to you. All right. You lost. All right, I'm taking the Ravens -3 against the Jaguars. With the hobbling zombie. Dude, how tough is that fucking guy? High ankle sprain, came back the next week.
Great.
As beautiful as ever, Paul. Paul, how much of your career would you give up to have hair like that guy again? Just for the rest of your life?
Not if I had his face.
You know,
do I get to keep my face?
Dude, your face with that fucking hair would look like a troll doll.
I just thought about that.
Wait a minute. Do you think you're better looking than Trevor Lawrence?
No, but he's got that. He's got that like you said, he's got that zombie look. He's got that.
I think it's more Terminator. I think I was wrong with him. I might have been a little jealous. Guy's as tall as a god. He's got the long flowing fucking hair like a mermaid, you know?
All right, I talk about picks that I could sleep with, right? I take the pick. I could sleep at night if I lose it. Well, nothing says that more than what I'm looking at right here with the Philadelphia Eagles. They are -4. They are coming off back-to-back losses.
Huge losses, Paul. Huge fucking losses.
Huge losses to the 49ers.
Nicky, the mouth breather. This is Nick. He's trying to wait to see what the decision on the call is. He's like this. He's like,
yeah.
Look, his mouth gets really small.
Dude, yeah. Talk about humble pie. I like seeing the Eagles coach with that fucking.
Dude, watching the Eagles lose is one of the funniest things ever. I don't know why, and I like the Eagles, but it's just so fucking funny.
Well, I know why. It's because the coach used to walk in the tunnel going, "Take that, fans! You're not talking now. Shut it." That's why.
That's why I want something. When I watch the Eagles, I either want them to beat the fuck out of somebody or get their asses kicked so I get the Nicky show.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Eagles -4 in Sneaky Pete's house, but I think the Eagles need to really show, because are they going to lose 3 in a row? Are they reeling that bad? I don't know. So that's what I got to see.
In the overall scheme of things, is it important if the Eagles lose 3 in a row? The overall scheme of things, Paul, when you really think about what's important in life. You know what, Paul? I'm bored tonight. I think I'm going to bet the fucking Thursday game.
Oh!
All right. Okay, so Justin Herbert is not in What do they got? Matt Kavanaugh. Who's their backup?
Here he is, Jake the Snake, right on time.
Danny White. Who do they got?
This kid named Easton Stick. Very
Easton
unknown player.
Stick. That name fucking scares me. Sounds like a jacket, and he's going to throw darts.
You know, I could see the headlines. Pick stick.
Stick it to him, and he beats him.
There you go.
There you go.
Who's the Raiders quarterback? I can't even keep up. It's not this guy anymore, is it, Paul? It's not this fucking guy, huh?
It's Connell, huh?
I think it's still Aiden O'Connell. It is.
I don't know. What's the spread?
It is, but there was a rumor that he might not even start. And if I heard it correctly, it was going to be what's his face, the Pats' old backup,
Tom Ramsey,
Hoyer.
Solak.
Hoyer.
I think it's still going to be O'Connell.
It's probably going to be O'Connell, but there was talk of it being Hoyer, which is pretty hilarious because there's also talk of certain players not wanting to play because they realized that the game was going to go away. Like there's talk that Devontae Adams might just sit out because he was like, "There's nobody playing for the Chargers. It's not happening." Yeah, so I don't know.
What's the spread?
3.
I still think they'll do it. Well, I'll have a good time. I'll have a good time, Paul. What do I care? This is the time of year, Paul. You know, I start to fade. I think I went 0-4 last week.
Oh, Billy Flannel. You know, you look like very Christmassy. You know, give him a tea. He's got a flannel.
You know, I'm dressed like that guy who was married to Roseanne on Roseanne. John Goodman. Or am I dressed like Roseanne?
You look like you answer the door with a hot tea in a good mood right now.
With the cinnamon stick?
Slippers.
Slippers, yeah. To like dress like I'm going outside, but then I have furry slippers on. And then that's when you're just like, oh, I don't like this guy.
All right, so wait, who are you taking?
Should have just dropped my wife off.
Who are you taking, the Chargers or the Raiders, did you say?
I'm going to take the Raiders, Paul.
Oh, Billy Raiders.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care, Paul. I don't care. The bookie kicks my ass every fucking year, and this year's no different. Dude, I finally got to within one game, and I got this shit kicked out of me. I fucking zigged when I should have zagged last week. I fucking bet on the Eagles. I believed in them. I thought the 49ers were going to have a letdown game, and it was the exact opposite. There's 2 losses. Then I took the Packers. There's another fucking loss, and I might have covered the Lions. I don't know.
No, you know what you did? You walked up to the 1 yard line. You started calling things, and then you just threw a pick.
No, you know what I did? I fucking called the quarterback fucking sneak. And I started running, and I face planted like Daniel Jones. How about that, huh? That was a little backdoor fucking backhand to you. Hey, Andrew, did I go 1-3 last week or 0-4?
Did you go?
You went 0-4.
Yeah, well, I'm good for that. Just like George Brett, I'm good for that once a year.
I had mine. I got mine out of the way early. You got to get one of them.
You got to have one. It happens. But I've yet to go 4-0. I've gone 4-0 at least once. It's not going to happen this year, Paul.
No, you did the most gangster shit last year. You went 0-4, and then the next week you went 4-0. And that's
called being erratic, Paul. That's not gangster. That's you can't depend. You can't depend on that guy. I don't know what I'm getting with him. Oh, Billy wins some, lose some.
He's either knocking the guy out or getting knocked out right when he gets in the ring.
He just comes out swinging. The guy does not play defense. Hey, by the way, shout out to Adam Driver, Penelope Cruz, Michael Mann for the incredible movie Ferrari. I went to the premiere the other night, man. It's incredible.
Dude, name a bad Michael Mann movie. That guy's the fucking best, dude. Michael Mann movies are the best.
Dude, Adam Driver and Penelope Cruz are fucking incredible. I mean, everybody is. Patrick Dempsey. The cars are beautiful. And they got like this road race that they do in the end, dude. It had everything, Paul.
Oh.
It had everything.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
And they shot it in Italy. And it's Michael Mann, who, by the way, came out, dude. That guy he's like 80. He came out, right? Shaking hands, still a firm handshake. That he's got a lot left in the tank.
Dude.
Telling you.
Michael Mann, dude, Miami Vice, Heat. I mean, he's fucking all right.
Thief.
For my fourth and final pick.
The Insider.
For my fourth and final pick, I'm going to ride this out. I'm going to see if the New York Football Giants getting 6 points in New Orleans. I'm going to ride out Tommy Cutlets I'm going to see if they really do have a little bit of magic with the kid. Okay, I got to see it one more time because then our schedule gets tougher with the Eagles. So I'm going to take my New York Football Giants going into New Orleans, starting the game with 6 points and an Italian quarterback. He showed me something on Monday. I'm going to ride with him.
Well, there you go.
And
that was very anticlimactic. Well, there you go.
Was it me or you?
I think I'm done. I got the Ravens, the Cowboys, the Bengals, and the Raiders.
Okay. And I have the Bears.
Come on down to MVP Sports. We got all the jerseys. We got the Raiders, the Chargers, the Steelers, and more. It's my favorite local read in Boston, Massachusetts ever.
All right. And I just want to make sure here, Andrew, make sure I'm right here. I have the Bears, right?
The Dolphins.
I have the Bears. I have the Dolphins, the Eagles, and the Giants.
Correct.
All right. Now it's time. Bill, I know you got a heart out here, so it's time for the...
Oh, let the Monday night special.
We're getting this one.
Win some money for you. I don't have any confidence. Let the Monday night special. We got smoked last week.
Bill,
I got to change that name.
Bill, the song just got sad. You go...
It's just sad. I'm not singing it anymore.
Let the Monday night special.
I'm not singing it anymore.
You can only sing it after a win. That's what we do. All right, we got the Eagles and the Seahawks. Eagles getting 4 in sneaky.
I hate this fucking game.
Do you? This is the only one I kind of like. Do you dude, you're talking about a Super Bowl caliber team that just lost 2 heartbreakers to division rivals or one division rival and another NFC powerhouse. What do you think? You think Sneaky Pete's going to stop?
I don't know what to think with these guys. Are they fading? I have no idea. And you, whenever you play Pete Carroll, you have no fucking idea what he's going to pull up his sleeve.
Yes, but I saw something.
By the way, you see the Dolphins design their stadium so they're always in the shade and you just stand in the sun and it could be like a 30-degree difference.
Is that true? Is that real, though? Is that like a...
Yeah. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, Paul.
Yes, that is true.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Let him do that up there in Gillette when old fucking Tommy Prettyboy was up there. People be up and, oh, my God, I knew it. What the fuck?
Oh, God.
If I see one more fucking team fucking cheating and nothing happens, dude, I'm never going to get over that, Paul.
Did you hear Edelman and Gronk making fun of the Colts? I sent it to you, dude. It was the best. Did you see it?
Oh, those fucking crybaby cheating pieces of shit.
Oh, dude, Edelman just goes, Edelman and Gronk are having a great time on a podcast, and Edelman goes, the ball's inflated. The ball's doesn't have enough air. And Gronk starts bursting out laughing. And he goes, those Colts looked for any excuse because we fucking beat them all the time. It was the best. You didn't see it?
Thank God.
Oh, dude, but Edelman just goes, the ball, the ball doesn't have enough air in it.
Dude, it was the fucking stupidest thing ever.
Worst.
And the NFL tried to uphold it.
Yep.
Well, I mean, the owner of the losing team conducts his own investigation.
On a football.
This is gonna be unbiased.
Oh my God. Dude, what a ridiculous.
It didn't have enough air in it.
That's what he said. He goes, the ball.
They lost by 35.
And then Aaron Rodgers comes out, and Aaron Rodgers goes, yeah, I like the ball with more air. I liked when it was harder. People do. It's like it's fucking ridiculous. Dude, but the best was when the Colts played him. I mean, when the Patriots played him again. That was the best. Because then you guys just fucking shit on him, dude. It was the best.
Dude, Paul, that was already like 10 years into them whining. Teddy Bruschi 6 years earlier. What's their excuse going to be this time?
I love it.
There's a guy who sends an email maybe like every 3 weeks to Bill, and it's literally the same thing. Maybe every month, but he says all the time, he goes, Bill, if Tom Brady hadn't destroyed his cell phone, I might believe you. But that is the act of a guilty man. And it's just like, dude, I wouldn't turn there's nothing on my phone.
It had nothing to do with the balls.
Yeah,
it had to do with
like,
everything else that was on his fucking phone. Dick pics and God knows what else you're fucking doing. It's like, do you think they're just not going to scroll looking for that? They're going to be finding.
Yeah, they're going to see some shit. Yeah. 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 When a man scraps his phone,
he could have it hidden. He could have it hidden in the folder titled Giselle. We better take a look.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, do you think he has something in there that says underinflated football thing? You know,
Dude, one of my favorite things in sports was when Belichick just fucking was blowing out team. Dude, when you guys went on that run where you were, and I hate to be insensitive here, but dude, you guys were so pissed, and Belichick was so pissed about the shit talking on the team when he was winning by like 3 touchdowns and he was still going for it in the red zone. And they go like this to him. They go in the press conference, they go, "Yeah, Bill, you guys are up 21 with like 4 minutes left." Belichick just goes, he goes, "It's 3 possessions, it's only 3 touchdowns." Dude, it was the best. And
no, that ended up fucking us though, because we started embarrassing teams. And then every week we played a playoff game from like November on.
Dude, that guy that was paralyzed, or he got partially paralyzed in Buffalo, but then he came out walking out. He was actually able to walk, and it was this big thing, and they put him on the screen, and you guys just beat him fucking 55-10. It was fucking nuts, dude. I'll be honest with you, dude. I loved watching you guys shit on teams. Anyway.
Well, it's over, Paul. It's back to the Sullivan Stadium era. But you know what?
Dude, how much do
I'm
you
built
want,
for that, Paul, because I grew up like that.
Yeah, but Bill, you know what? You got what'd you get? 21 good years? I mean, Jesus. Giants get 2, and then we're bad for 11.
I mean, I'm fine, dude. Believe me, I am. The problem I have now is giving a fuck.
Well, let me ask you a question. What other team in the history of sports has gone on a 2-decade run like that? In the history of sports, in your time?
Lakers went on a 3-decade run. 70s, 80s, 90s, and into the 2000s. Lakers have won the most. Lakers have won the most championships since I've been alive. And they seamlessly transitioned from when you had to build a team from the draft and, maybe a big trade like with Kareem to the free agent era. And the thing about it is I feel like they were much better with keeping their old stars around the team, and people wanted to be there. And then they're just beyond like a destination city. It's just everybody's Hollywood.
I feel like it's harder to
like they're not Hollywood. Everyone wants to fucking live out here and bang a fucking celebrity and do all this fucking LA shit. And then back then everybody had their own fucking rap album and stuff, and the music business was out here when that was going on. I mean, it was just, what the fuck did we have, Paul? We had clam chowder, average looking women, and winter.
That's what Lou Carnesecca said. Lou Carnesecca, dude. Shout out to Lou Carnesecca, the coach of the St. John's Red Storm, whatever they call him now. But he said, he goes, if Lou Alcindor would have stayed in Queens, he said the college basketball would have changed forever. New York basketball would have changed forever. But Kareem went out to LA and he went on campus and he saw UCLA from Queens, and that changed a lot. And it was like,
yeah,
dude, that's, hey, Ma.
Definitely he made the right move, man.
He goes like this. He goes, hey, Ma.
18 years in New York. You want to see something?
I don't think I'm coming back to Queens, Ma. I think, you know what? I'm going to stay. You guys want to come out here for the holidays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is weird, though. But now it's kind of moved around where, like, Golden State became like a destination place. Miami did for a minute. I think Miami actually stayed that way for a while. Like, that's just a good organization. Dude, if it's a good organization, there's beautiful women, and you're winning championships. I mean, that's where they're gonna go.
You know what they got to do?
You gonna sign with the Timberwolves?
You know what they got to do for college kids? When a team on the East Coast has a big recruit coming in, you just got to fly in a bunch of whores that are all tan. No, we love Rutgers. Just fucking Syracuse.
Put some fake sand on the fucking sidewalks and shit, so they think there's good beaches out there.
Yeah, dude, you can't blame a kid, dude. If my son went to Miami and he saw Miami, and then all of a sudden he's like, Rutgers, Newark, New Jersey, or South Beach, No,
it's a no-brainer.
Some Cuban rubbing his balls. Wait, all right. Anyway, I don't. All right, so it's -4 for the Eagles. What do you think? Or do you want to go the other way? You
have to think that the Eagles are going to turn it around this week.
I think so. I think big. And here's the other thing. The Seahawks threw 3 touchdowns to DK Metcalf last week, played great, and still lost a game to a team that wasn't as good as the Eagles. I think the Eagles go in and put it on them.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Jalen Hurts to throw one?
I'll go with that.
Okay, so we got Eagles to win, Jalen Hurts to throw one, and let's
that security guard to get kicked out again. What's the over-under on that? What exactly was he security for? Like, there's a security force there. I didn't understand why there was an independent security guy.
Why the fuck did he get kicked out? The guy put his hand in his face, rubbed his thing, and he kind of just moved.
He did a point punch, the old point punch. It's very passive aggressive, but
That's
I mean, come on.
Disrespectful though. A point punch.
It wasn't like, concussive. It was disrespectful. It was funny. But he had his glove on, so you can't prove that it was him. There's no fingerprints.
What do you think the third one should be, Bill? Should we do you got Deshaun? No, not Deshaun Jackson. You got what's his name?
You think DK gets
Smith.
one?
You got Devontae Smith, you got AJ Brown. You got
What about DK? Metcalf, is he going to get one?
He got 3 last week.
It's because he's a fucking Marvel superhero playing football.
Dude, how fast is that guy for his size? Dude.
I mean, for any size.
Yeah. I'll go DK Metcalf to score one.
Why not, Paul? Let's have a good time.
There you go. All right, there
Or
you
if
go.
you want to do over and under, Paul, I swear to God, I can't hit the fucking ocean lately. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Every time we do an under, we won one under over by the skin of our fucking teeth, and I don't like betting for points.
Paul, stop living in the past, man.
All right. We're going to do, no, it's 47.5. Fuck that. I don't like that. It's a perfect number. It's a perfect number to fuck you right at the end. We're going to go Eagles -4. We're going to go Jalen Hurts to throw one. And we're going to have Sneaky Pete's wide receiver, DK Metcalf, to catch one. And there you go. We're going to hit our second Monday night special this week. And
What's the over-under on the amount of gum that Pete Carroll chews? That's how he keeps that jaw so fucking. He's got a great jawline.
And he just runs. Good job. It's so woo. I've never seen him. Yeah, it looks like a bird.
Yeah. Fucking chipmunk over there.
All right, there you go.
Pete Carroll on blow chewing gum is something I would love to see.
Oh, dude, Pete. His head would explode.
Just a whole pack in there. Just fucking.
Good job. He's like 80, dude. Guy does look good for 80. I'm not gonna lie.
No, he's like 74, 75.
Oh, is he? All right. Still older.
Dude, Pete Carroll still wakes up with fucking half a stiffy. You know he does. You know? He's got to bang something every fucking week just to fucking chewing that gum like that, dude.
He's on top of her just. He's on top. He's like, you like that, honey?
His wife said, then close your mouth, Pete. Close your mouth. You know, I don't like that sound. All right, this is getting disgusting.
All right, everybody. Those are our.
All right, when Pete gets undressed at night, what's the last thing? Does he spit out his gum first before he takes his socks off?
No, dude, he's still chewing the gum.
He's still chewing the gum? He's got, like, when you buy like a whole brick of cigars, he's got a whole thing of gum right on his nightstand. Just goes to bed chewing gum.
Oh, fuck, dude. I'd be honest with you. I can't look at him with a straight face every time I see that. And players love him. The player goes, dude, when I saw him and he ran up and down and he runs up and down the side with the play and he's chewing his gum and he's like, I want to run through a wall for that guy. I'm like, really?
Dude, I bet his wife makes him wear a sleep apnea mask just so she doesn't have to hear the sound of him chewing his gum.
All right, everybody.
All right. Is that it?
That's it, everybody. Those are our picks. Enjoy week 15. Download the BetMGM app. Use our code for the show. It's a very easy code, Burr, B-U-R-R. Put a deposit of $10 in, and you will get back $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. It's that simple. Bet responsibly. We will see you next week for week 16 already, which is so sad to say. This year's flown by. And there you go. Happy holiday. Oh, no,
there's still 4 more Sundays. It's unbelievable how long. It doesn't fly by anymore. There's 4 more Sundays. It's a month.
Dude, it's week 16. It flew.
No, it's week 15.
No, all right, week 15. Still.
Week 15, 16, 17, then you got 18, and then you got like another month of fucking playoffs. This shit's not going to be over till February.
Yeah, but it's not enough, dude. Football's got to keep going, man. And by the way, what the Patriots...
I don't think I've ever heard such sadness in your voice. What's going? Everything all right at home?
No, doing football. Yeah, but listen,
it's just not long enough.
I'm going to say this, dude. what the 20-year run the Patriots went on being an NFL football team is more impressive than
glory days.
A basketball
They'll
team
pass you, but Paul, I don't want to keep talking about the glory days of the Patriots. It happened. It was fucking awesome, and it's over. And right now, God damn it, we're a 3-31 team. However many weeks there are this year, we're 3-12.
Yeah, you know what?
11.
Dude, you get a good draft pick. You're back in 2 years. What are you worried about, dude? It's a fucking historic franchise. You guys did it. You got over the mountain.
I'm worried about those kill switches on cars that they're going to have in 2026.
What's that?
They'll just be able to shut your fucking car off.
Oh, if it's electric.
No.
You can't do it on it. You're not going to be able to do it on a gas engine. How?
Yeah. What do you mean how? You
How
just
can they
start
do
the
that?
engine of fuel.
There's computers in all cars. You can shut a car off remotely. They've done that. Guys have done that on their YouTube.
They just take
channel.
a chloroform rag. They put it right over the intake manifold.
They jump on the hood. They jump on the hood.
Right over the grill.
Dude, that's ridiculous, man. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do something on the show. I only met this dude once, but we lost a comedian. A comedian passed away untimely. It was just a horrible, untimely passing of Kenny DeForest, who was a comedian in New York, and he passed tragically.
Basketball player.
He passed tragically. And so shout out to him. I met him once. He ran a show in Brooklyn that everybody loved, and he was a really, really good dude. So rest in peace to him, and thoughts and prayers with his family. It's brutal. And a very, very funny. Watch his clips. Kenny DeForest, really, really funny. He's got a clip about anxiety, and he goes through the emotions of like what it is during like a feeling of it. And
I like that bit that he did about when he was playing, and he went up against that kid that white kid that UNC ended up getting for 4 years, and they wanted to play one-on-one with them. They wanted him to go one-on-one with them because the other team also had good outside shooters. And he
I didn't see that.
Tried to D him up. Yeah, and the guy went like 12 for 12, 4 for 4 from the line, had 35 points.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I didn't listen, dude. I'm not lying to you. Like I didn't know about him until I heard about the accident. Then I watched like his his clips, and he seemed like he was going to be he was already a really good comedian, but he seemed like he was going to be like a really, a force to be reckoned with, man.
Yeah, dude, and be careful.
It makes no sense. No sense.
Be careful out there riding those things because, man, I swear to God, dude, driving in the city right now, it's the Wild West. They don't care. They're cutting people off more. There's more people. There's bikes everywhere. There's bike lanes. You open your door, somebody almost flies into you. Just be careful out there, man. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And yeah. So anyway.
Stay in your car and get off your phone.
Yeah, dude. And then that other thing that the 49ers did with and the Jets did, where like distracted driving deaths, and somebody on the Jets organization and the family was there, and they were like running up the, stands for him and stuff like that, because that's a statistic where there's literally people get killed yearly because somebody is literally looking at their phone and they're killing people. And it's fucking ridiculous, man. It's I think it's worse. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I almost said it's worse than drunk driving. It's not, but it's as bad, I should say.
That's they're saying it's as impaired. All right. That's the end of our public service announcements here.
No, I got another one, dude. So breast awareness. No, I'm kidding. Imagine we just went through. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week, week 16. Enjoy football and bet responsibly.
I'm doing the point, Paul. Getting to that age, the old man.